When you grab a hold of me, you tell me that I would never be set free. Well, I'm a parasite, mama, without a creeping, crawling, and slipping to the night. 2 pints of booze. Tell me, are you a bad bitch too? You a bad bitch too now? Ain't got no money to spend. I hope this night would never ever end. Yeah, Lord knows that I'm weak. Won't somebody get me off of this here reef? Well, baby, you're a big blue whale. Yes, I grabbed that reef when all the diving failed. I could swim, but I wish I never learned. I said the water's much too polluted with germs. But I dive deep when it's 10 feet overhead. Oh, and I grabbed that reef right underneath my bed. Underneath my bed, y'all. Ain't got no quarrels with God. I got no time to get old. No, no, no. Lord knows that I'm weak. Won't somebody... Hydrofield cuts through my neighborhood. Used to think the world was flat. Really threw my hat into the crowd. I felt I had used up my quota of yearning. Used to looking on the children at night
You're on mute.
I'm muted.
Excellent. What's up, everybody?
You guys heard nothing, guys. Welcome. Happy Sunday.
We were rubbing our knuckles together for.
I totally didn't see the chat. I swear I did not see the chat, Popeye. I did not see it before.
That is too
I was talking to my mother. I was like, which clip am I going to use here? I'm going to find a knuckle clip. And I was like looking through the knuckles. And I found one with a dazed Biden as well. This has a Biden in the corner, but you can't see him. And his face is ridiculous. But I was like, which one? Biden, Pelosi, which one? And I ended up going with her.
And we also have our other friends. Do you guys know who else is here today?
Winner, chicken dinner.
Look who it is! Hey, guys!
Hi.
Howdy to all.
Hi.
How are you guys?
Good.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
Is this some kind of special effect, or are they actually in the same room together?
We're actually in the same room.
Oh, the love is so overwhelming.
Oh, I think I heard another knock at the door.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Hi.
And look how it ended up doing it. Like, so wait, no, that way. Yeah. You guys down there and us up here. And then you guys.
We're getting tired of this hierarchy.
Right? Sorry.
No, like you're literally higher than me.
I'm Pelosi. I can't help it. I'm higher
Do
than
you think
everyone.
you can arrange by pyramid?
Pelosi is the highest one, I think.
High as a fucking kite. Fucking
Knuckle rubbing, burn pit high.
I gotta come say hi and say, how is everybody?
Hi.
Hey, Leo.
Hello, Leo. How are you doing?
His little tail's going.
He's like, hey, what's up, everybody?
Do you hear your bams? Do you hear your bams? Yeah?
Steve, you should do voiceovers for him.
Yeah.
Voiceovers for the Leo, the drumming dog.
I think you all know why I brought you here today.
Oh.
So I can lick my balls.
We're in the cult of the drumming dog.
Yes, right.
Elle, that Nancy photo is
It's fucking with
Priceless.
Nancy
That
wants her
was
yum
like the
yum.
scariest part. That episode of Black Mirror.
It was. That's scarier. That was like, it kind of is like a throwback to that whole, like, Graham Elwood, shave your knuckles, but this is rub your knuckles for justice. Like,
that's fucking.
Oh, fucking Graham. How ye hath fallen.
Rub your knuckles for the lobbyist.
it really sucks when people like that, when people fall. Like, it really, really sucks. Like, it's not a fun thing. It's not. It's sad.
Free falling.
Who do we have with us today?
How's everybody doing? Anyway,
I'm excellent. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite well. I can't think of a damn thing to complain about. It's just going so awesome lately that, gosh, what could I ever think to harsh everybody's buzz with?
Okay.
What's up, Oz?
I'm putting something in the private chat so you can see the whole picture because it's priceless. This is what I got this avatar from. And the other side is Biden's dazed face. I don't know what's going on with him in that.
This
one
sums up
scene.
America, Elle. This sums up America in a nutshell.
Ew. Okay, now I have to show this. Gross.
I know. I was like, I had to choose between both parts of the picture, and I eventually went with her, but he was screaming out to me, put me in there.
This
Yeah,
was
that Biden look.
This is what
I mean,
Elle.
it's priceless.
So who gets to be Biden in this picture?
Oh,
If Elle is Pelosi, who gets to be Biden?
Jack.
I'm the American flag in the background.
Jack, you
I
might
am
have
not
to be
riding
Biden.
with Biden. I am not riding with Biden.
and too much. There's entirely too much beard among us boys. I don't think we could pull it off.
I mean, unless you put "Let's Go Brandon" on there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you
Put it like an ash smear on his forehead, like let's
him
go,
saying
Brandon.
it too.
Like his ash mark.
Little
Okay,
You just
so
put like a lobster bib around him that says like free Brandon.
Brandon. So I noticed something entirely crazy.
All you can eat Brandon.
While we were watching the State of the Union, and I was cackling maniacally like a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
So the flag, if you look at the frame, like head on, Biden is directly in the center of the center red stripe. Pelosi is in the dead center of the second to right red stripe, and Kamala Harris is in the dead center of the second to left red stripe.
Oh, so they're like all like
perfectly choreographed.
You see how her face is folded on itself?
It does. It folds in on itself.
I'm not trying to comment on her looks, but like that's what facelifts do.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah. See her cheeks. I could be wrong here, but I believe it. There's when they go to pull this. I don't want to go over to gross anyone out, but when they pull the skin back, it can tend to fuck up the muscles.
Right.
Like that's the effect that some people want though, because they don't want to have emotions on their.
A couple of strokes.
Like that's
too,
the Botox
probably.
thing, but I could be getting Botox confused.
Might lower it
I
down.
could be getting.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe it's both.
Yeah.
Well, no, because like they have Botox parties, like these kind of like. Have you ever seen
No, I did not know.
Did you ever watch Nip
I
Tuck?
did not know that. Seriously.
Oh yeah,
my God.
I watched it.
Oh.
Yeah, me too.
Botox
Oh, Elle,
party?
you know what I'm talking about? That's a insane show.
Luna, did you teach them about this? Is this your doing? Do you do Botox parties on the side?
Botox party.
Hopefully, no one does.
Oh,
Alex.
sounds terrible.
Why would you shoot You want to shoot boopos into your face? Like,
Yeah, no.
Wait, like
I
boba?
did not
Like
get
Botox and
Botox.
tea?
That's
That's
botulism,
what's
right?
going on in their face?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's a
would you
paralyzing.
knowingly put a
I don't know if
poison
it's
in
the
your
exact
face?
one. Yeah, but exactly, Elle. It's a paralyzing toxin, from what I can recall.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I wonder.
no selfies.
wonder-
You have to leave your
like-
cell phone at the door. Like, no, don't take any
I mean, you have
pictures
to have
once
a
you
face
start-
holder. You got to have someone hold your face into pose.
They use it for migraines too, because they offered it to my mom to
Oh,
get
wow.
shots in the back of her head
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
because she has like these debilitating migraines.
See, that's
on.
the use
Well,
I've
that's a
never
medical
heard of.
purpose.
That seems like
I know.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's
Like,
as a brain
thing that,
disease,
you
took out like the old monarchies and shit. Does that mean that like Botox is taking out our current monarchies of psychosis and the fucking call the
It's
Congress?
a symbolic taking out. It feels like you kind
Yeah.
of hit on something big, because it's like, yeah, we'll see the outward appearance of their decrepitness and they're just awful.
What do you
But
think
is it going to be like Rome? I don't know.
What do you think
It
the
is
effect
wrong.
of Pluto is to everyone's Botox at this point? I mean, is that going to enhance their
Tina?
swelling,
Yeah.
or
I'm super curious
I
about
am
Pluto.
curious.
Like,
I'm super curious.
you
about
guys
also
got me with
That's
Pluto.
fascinating shit.
Like, I'm totally there. I'm ready for a brain melting at any time. Like,
Well, I just kind of regurgitated all kinds of shit on my Discord astrology channel that I have. I just kind of went back on different countries that went through Pluto returns, and like our last one for the United States was when the Declaration of Independence was signed, and we're having another one now, aspecting
Oh, shit.
Saturn and Uranus. This is like a whole other conversation. Like I can do it on my Discord. I know a lot of people,
That's
it's
wild.
not their jive or whatever.
Yeah.
But
this is organic. This is whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, we like to talk about things.
I think
It's-
it's fascinating. It's
it's
one of the most
yeah.
fascinating things I've read in a long time.
Yeah, that's fascinating to me too. So you take that
It's
wherever
wild.
you want. Like, you know, we have no script, you know. Like it's wherever we
Well,
go with this.
kind of been setting up for this for quite some time, and now is like the boiling point. You know what I mean? If you think about the different things that Pluto is symbolic for, you know what I mean? Death, rebirth, and it's going to be affecting money and all kinds of different things, because the opposite of Pluto or Scorpio is Taurus. So those are the opposite nodes. So there might be some kind of, I don't know if it's going to happen with Bitcoin or with regular monetary system, but money will be affected in some way. You know, I'm not like Merlin, so I can't like foresee
Damn.
exact things. I can just like read about it and kind of
Put a robe on that guy next to you, and then you can be like, but he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
All I
is.
need to know is if I get a pony.
No, you don't get a pony, you get a fucking unicorn.
I can draw a tarot card
Okay,
for you and tell you
I'll
what
take a
it is.
unicorn and I'll be happy with it.
Well, I can
I
give you
wanna use a
unicorn
pony.
parts via tether.
I mean, you know how hard it's going to be finding to get like spare unicorn parts, though, if you had one.
Oh, fully. I have
Hey,
another
could I
question.
say,
Oh, yes, please.
Yet.
just real quick, have you guys ever seen a baby unicorn? I'm just
No.
asking.
In person or displayed? Like,
And what's
At all.
how are they born? They born with their
Like,
own-
how many dimensions are we talking here?
17.
17. No, but I
doesn't
believe
a
I've
blackout
seen
count?
5
Because
layer,
technically you shouldn't remember.
you know, that's
Mm.
crazy. I had a question about unicorns in general. Are they like the same as like a Pegasus? Is like a fully equipped unicorn also have wings and can fly?
Someone in the days took a cone and put it on a horse. I'm just making this up, but we'll put this as the origin story. And they put it on a
No,
horse and they
it's a party
fucked with
hat.
an entire village. What
Horse
was
with
it?
the party hat.
The party hat.
Party
And then the
hat.
party hat fell down. And then they're like, it's a unicorn. And then everyone was freaking out.
Yeah.
I think there was a horse that was close to the ocean, and there was a narwhal out there, and the horn just like looked like it came out from behind the horse.
I didn't know where you were going to
How
go
do you
with
know
that.
a narwhal and a fucking
You're gonna
horse can breed and create a unicorn?
Right.
I don't.
That's where
That's
I
what
was
I'm
going,
saying.
Shadow.
I don't.
How do you know
I
that-
don't know.
How do you know the horse and the narwhal and the Pegasus can't breed and get some fancy high-end, Pegasus unicorns? Like,
Why
I
is
think
it
the world
called a
needs a
corn?
fleet of those.
Yeah, why is it called
Does
the
anyone
corn?
know why it's called corn?
Well, I mean, like the
Cornucopia?
toe corn. A
Like
toe
cup?
corn is a weird thing that grows out of your toe, right? A bone.
Is it from
isn't
Cornucopia?
Yeah,
Maybe.
I don't know.
Is it from Californication?
Oh, that reminds me of socks. Now that reminds me of socks on
Yeah,
Anthony Kiedis.
That reminds me of
Okay.
that. I have to learn
All right.
some,
That reminds me of all his alleged sexual abuse charges. But yeah,
Ooh.
I have to
Yeah,
ruin
like
everything.
sexual abuse charges?
I ruin everything with facts.
God
Shout
damn.
out to our bearded brothers in chat, and big shout out to Rob Juno.
Rob
hell
Rob
yeah.
Juno.
Juno.
Oh,
Where's he at?
Welcome in.
Is he in here?
Alex.
Rob,
Got a
you know that
glorious beard.
I don't know if I ever told you guys this, but yes. Rob Juno sounds almost identical to my dad. And my dad passed away last January, not this January, but the one before. It's been just over a year. And whenever I would hear his voice on Slow News Day, I would be like, oh my God, he sounds like my dad. It was great. It was great. So he just reminds me of him.
That's nice.
I remember Rob called
Rob
in,
Juno.
and I was like, "That's a brother there," because I just remembered it was just it's so amazing. A lot of us too. I think we all kind of found each other in different comment sections, different chatting sections. But it's just when you hear from someone being actually genuine and actually having a conversation, that was just I thought that was great because Rob, I think you were one of the first to go on Slow News Day for the actual call-in shows, because that's what actually got me off my ass to do it.
We did it every week.
That was fun.
I think there was 1 or 2 weeks that we didn't call in because Steve was like, we'll have some other callers and the regular ones out. Steve and I were like, man, we were bummed.
I think we could absolutely. We have the technology to do our own call-in show. So
we're gonna have to do a call-in.
That call-in show sparked so many fucking different things. The SND call-in show was the genesis for so many fucking pieces of content. It's fucking great.
Wicked fun.
Shout out to Steve.
like a
Glory.
dongcopter, perhaps like a dongcopter,
Yes,
alleged
dongcopter.
dongcopter NFT.
Doncopter, marmots evolved.
Which you
from
can buy
there.
for only 69 Ethereum. Help feed
Only
Baltimore.
69 ETH. You can feed Baltimore. It's going to go to Reverend Annie. I would literally dead ass. I would find a way to get a hold of Ian. Ian Schleckman, for if you guys don't know, does a lot of work with Reverend Annie, feeding people. Like, these are actually people. I don't care about ideology. These are people that are on the corner.
Yeah, I don't
feeding
care.
People.
If you're feeding people, you're feeding
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
My belly doesn't care about your
Right.
political point of view, okay?
Exactly.
my fucking stomach doesn't care. My soul is not
Yeah,
doesn't say.
We can
"Oh,
debate
I
whether
only
Trotsky
warm
or
up
Lenin was
if,
right
you know."
after we've got our agency back.
Wait, we got our agency back. That
had
implies
it,
that we
though?
ever had it.
Yeah.
That would
True. True.
That
We didn't even have it when we
Well,
were born because the
Actually,
parents-
technically, though, this is a way to look at it too. Is that our agency doesn't come from government? Our
did you
agency
guys
comes from
hear
the
that?
divine.
Wait, I heard something. Did you hear that? Knock,
Oh.
knock, knock.
Oh,
Hunter.
Hi, Hunter.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of
hey,
NFTs,
girl.
Yeah.
Oh.
Camel crushes, huh?
Yep.
Oh,
I'm a
you
good
totally
pick.
got Leo's attention, Jack. Leo went like, "What? Huh?
Ooh.
Did he make a noise?"
Oh,
can
I'm
make
so
Leo the,
tired. I'm only gonna jump on for a little bit.
You're tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Why? It's beautiful out there in California, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Except oh my god, I have egg in my hair. It looks like I have cum in my hair.
Something
Been
about
there.
Better get in the face.
Pasta's BLT spurted all over me.
Oh my god!
wow.
I don't know. We might need
Pasta,
to
would you
verify that
stop with the
story.
ejaculation into her
Oh,
hair?
I know.
I don't know
The
if that,
entire in the kitchen right
Ejaculation.
now, making
Manners.
vegan bolognese.
she said
Bolognese?
bolognese.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds
Fantastic.
pretty.
Where is that?
Now, I
Where-
know that's probably really kink specific and stuff, but hopefully we don't get, some kind of weird.
I know.
I mean, it
parental
depends
strike.
on if you go with the meat sauce, I guess,
Oh boy!
because that is bolognese.
Oh boy!
So the meat sauce is what's in your hair?
I'm gonna be quiet now.
No, it was the egg from the BLT. you made.
She's like, "Stop!
This
I'm
conversation
waiting." Like,
It wasn't
really
me.
derailed. We were at such a nice level spot.
And look, just for that, there's our planets right there. Our planets. We're
Well,
going.
so now that we've come full circle on Pluto,
Come.
And yes, this is Bjork on my shirt. The fucking Queen of Iceland. Just kidding. But yeah.
yeah.
York is awesome. I like her.
I do too.
Did you guys hear that COVID is over and Vladimir Putin was the guy?
No, you don't get to take it.
No, that's what he said, right? No, he
no.
didn't say that. Just everybody
he
else.
cured it, guys.
He cured COVID.
Her-
Vladimir
COVID
Putin Daddy
cured
himself. cured
COVID. Did you know that?
That's all we
And they
needed.
have a warehouse where they have the virtue signal stockpile. Okay, they have a stockpile for you little Ukrainian flags for the State of the Union address.
I mean, it
They
seems
can't
like
even
what
point out where Ukraine is. But
Ukraine, can't you see?
I hate these people.
I hate these people.
With
she
my
says.
virtuosity.
entirely.
I hate them.
How does that work though? Like all of a sudden, hey, never mind COVID, it's World War III. Shut up.
that
I
the
support
reason
the
why
North
we
thing.
took your all's like
Rub your
we
knuckles together.
closed everything
Rub your
down and
knuckles
we
for
decimated the
birthday.
working class, we decimated small businesses, and we led to
And
the
are still
rise in
doing so.
children's suicides. And Vegas was so bad that they had to reopen fucking schools. But hey,
Yeah.
Ukrainian neo-Nazis, support them because Zelensky's Jewish. Fuck off.
No, did you have
Yeah.
you ever heard about the last months I was living in Vegas before I moved back out here? I was
wow.
taking care of people's kids whose whose parents didn't even want them around. And these kids were so fucked up and they came and they were from my apartment complex. They were telling me shit that has been going on. And even when they put them back into school, they didn't, because of the vaccine mandates and stuff, they didn't even have enough teachers. So like during PE, it would be like they would just tell them, oh, go walk around like the shitty ass track, but there'd be kids like smoking cigarettes.
Right.
There were kids killing themselves. I mean, it's just horrible.
Fucking twisted.
That's the part that really got to me, was that I put myself like back through regardless of what fucked up shit like everyone's gone through in their childhood, put it in that context of being in a fear state.
Yeah, and these kids were stuck at home with boyfriends of their moms who were like physically abusive, like horrible to them, and sexually abusive.
That, you know, and it was I guess in hindsight it was naive of me, but I thought that when that story aired about what was going on in Vegas, I was like, people have got to wake up. But then you know what? A week later or so, I see a story where a mom locked her kid in the trunk because she was afraid of COVID.
No, I know.
Yeah.
That one was just
For that story, that was crazy.
There's something wrong with you. Like, something is seriously fucking wrong with you if you do that. But I mean, there's
and again, the media's trained people to look at their kids like they're disease vectors when they're not. Kids have the most robust immune systems out of their adaptive. Again, I'm not a doctor, but their adaptive and innate immune responses are going to be primed and ready to go to take on whatever new pathogen is out there. And I just know that from experience. Like when I've gotten sick because I've been around like my nieces or nephews, it's a very mild illness because what I've gotten has been buffered through their immune system.
Right.
And then when they started taking newborn babies and saying, oh, no, you can't do skin to skin right after they're born, or you
They
can't
need that.
breastfeed them.
I
Those
breastfed.
People die without
days
contact, I think.
before your milk comes in gives your
Oh,
baby
yeah.
the most nutrients.
Yeah.
Yeah, breastfeed.
I
your kid
breastfed for 2.5 years.
It's funny.
2.5 years. Skyla is 18, and let me tell you, she's like, I mean, she got COVID, but she was born in the middle of 2003, in the middle of the whole swine flu thing. She was born in the middle of that. I brought her home on Christmas Eve.
I mean,
Christmas
really, I think
Eve,
the measure
I brought her
of
home in that, and I
SARS
didn't
one,
do anything
first
different.
movie.
I asked people to wash their hands. Oh my God. I didn't like not bring her to like the family and everything else. And you know what? She's barely ever been sick her entire life. Like kids aren't like, they don't get sick like that if they're exposed to things. Like she was playing out in the dirt as a kid, and
exactly.
you know, like get out, play in the dirt. Oh, it's raining, there's puddles, let's go put boots on, let's go jump in those puddles and get all wet.
Well, you
we'll
can't
come
do
back
that now
inside
'cause
and warm up
it's
after.
chemical rain.
You know, like be a kid.
Yeah.
Be a kid.
Yep.
Have
essentially,
fun.
you guys remember the movie Bubble Boy?
Yeah.
They tried to
Yes.
turn us into a
We
Bubble
talked
Boy
about
society.
it a couple
Yeah, they are, dude.
I should be.
And
in
then
a
they
public
literally had a literal
Sorry.
Bubble Boy that went on a date. Did you guys see that? The one where the guy goes on a date, and I was like, oh my fucking God, if I showed
Yeah, I
up
saw that.
and
It's
a girl called me on one of those, I'd be like,
I mean-
hi, you're nice, but I don't think this is gonna work. I can't even shake your hand. I
Unreal.
Yeah.
can't give you a hug or that bubble.
the past 2 years have been just we're fucked.
Yes.
We're just fucked, man. Like
More and more fucked.
I don't know if there's any way to come back from the past 2 years, really. Like
No, there's not.
It's got to reset, man. We got to like really.
oh, he said reset.
No,
I say it?
no.
Damn. Keyword.
Who are you with?
Done been made,
Where's
Steve.
Klaus?
Take
Damn.
a shot,
God
and
damn
not
it.
an alcoholic one. Yep.
Yeah.
Shoot your shot.
Booster, anyone?
So anybody who isn't aware of what the boy in the bubble is, this is the boy in the bubble
Or
right
Corona.
here.
Or COVID.
Oh, really? Like,
Oh, hey.
Could we go back to 1972?
John
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Travolta.
Why
You know?
the fuck would we want to go back to 1972?
I just want to live in boogie
Reagan
nights.
era.
Let's just start over.
living boogie.
This is what they want people to like be feeling right now. Like,
Let's be
you know,
smarter.
like
I
they
really want to live in boogie nights. It's just so it's like that era,
Yeah.
but there's still like you still have like a group of people where like everyone's cool with like the white chicking with the black guy and like you're already past all that, and it's okay to do drugs, but you can have when porn was good and shit like that.
Shit was real.
Yeah.
Like, I always say that, like, I would love to be just a fucking head on the street in the Haight-Ashbury fucking spun off my ass during the whole Grateful Dead fucking airplane.
I went to Haight-Ashbury.
Craziness. I want to time
not during the
travel
day, though.
and go there and be there.
So what do you think
I've
about
gone
this
there,
though?
but you know what I mean? I would like to be there in that time space. That would be fucking
Yeah, I was just gonna say
dope.
because
I
I
wanted
went there
to
like
see what
12 years
Alex
ago, and it
thought,
was way
um,
different.
Yeah.
or what Tina thought about
Yeah,
this.
it's gentrified as fuck now.
Oh yeah, I responded
Exactly.
to him in the
Oh,
chat.
you did?
But
Okay.
I have a stellium. So what that's called is a stellium when you have a shit ton of planets in one house. So like your astrology chart is broken up into different houses. So I'm a Scorpio, sixth house Scorpio, and I have Jupiter, Mercury, Venus, the Sun, all in cluster fucked in one house. So like every aspect of those planets in that one house, the sixth house represents like family and stuff like that, is enhanced, like shit that I have to work on in this life. And that just means I'm like super, you know, it's for some people you like, they're like, guess what sign I am? And sometimes you can guess and sometimes you can't. Like with me, it's obvious. I'm a Scorpio. I'm wearing all black. I look like I came out of a goth prom or something.
Hey, I went to one of those.
Silk shirt and shit. It's like super obvious.
I'm a Scorpio as well.
I'm
Oh,
a Sag.
I identify as
bad.
Hey,
Sagittarius are fun.
guys,
as fuck,
guys,
dude.
guess
My
what?
dad's a
Look what I got.
Sagittarius.
I
They're
am.
He has a Sag
Leo.
moon. That's why he fucking screams all the time.
Aww.
All the time.
He has a Sagittarius moon, so he's loud. He's very passionate in his
God, my
beliefs.
boyfriend's a
family is full of
Sagittarius.
Sagittarius.
I'm a Leo.
Do
I'm
me.
a Leo.
Sagittarius
So.
or is it Sagittarii?
My son's a Leo.
Yeah, I said Sagittarius. I corrected myself. Go
What's
on,
his-
Hunter. You were saying something.
What's his birthday? Oh, sorry.
My son,
Yeah.
August 3rd. He's a Leo sun,
We're
Leo
very
moon,
close.
and a Cancer rising.
We're very close. I'm July 31st, so I'm very close with like.
That
right
was his due date. No, his due date was July 29th, I think.
Really?
Oh
Yeah.
God, don't you love when they stay in too fucking long?
Oh, it was great. It was a fucking grand old time.
Skylar
No,
was
it was
2 weeks
the
past
work.
due. She was supposed to be born on the 10th of December. She waited until she was kicked out the 22nd. And the year in 2003, that was the December 22nd was actually winter solstice. So like she picked that day. Like I waited as long as I could. The doctors wouldn't let me wait any longer because at that point she was 2 weeks past due.
Yeah.
And yeah, she had to be evicted. Like, you know.
Yeah, so did mine.
Get the fuck out of there! The fuck are you doing?
Been here too long. You stay 4 hours.
Yeah, I was evicted too.
Release is up,
That's
kid!
why
Get the fuck out!
I'm so nice to my mom.
I
So does
bounced
that
on
mean-
a fucking exercise ball. I went hiking. I drank castor oil. I fucking did everything.
He
And
didn't
then-
want to come out. I wasn't even dilating. Like they just like he
No.
literally stayed in there as long as he could until I had
Yes!
an emergency fucking C-section.
They
Oh my
threatened me
God.
with that. They
Yeah, I
threatened me with that. They said either you're induced, you can be induced, and if that doesn't work, you're still at a really high risk for a C-section. I did everything I could to not have a C-section because they were like, they knew, like, you know, they knew exactly how long I was pregnant. Like I was, you know, I had done the whole, you know, the whole doctor thing from the very beginning. I had, you know, I was very sensitive with my own body. I caught it, you know, caught the pregnancy, and it was crazy because I was like, all right, yeah, I scheduled the induction on the very last day that they would let me schedule it. They were like, you can pick a day. I'm like, no, what's the last day? They're like, you're gonna be like right up there almost at Christmas. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't want to I don't want an invention, but it was like nothing. My cervix wasn't dilated. My body was just like, yeah, no.
Same.
She's in here. She's safe in here.
Yeah, I was in labor for like 14, 15 hours. So I was ready
Jesus.
to have him, but because I was scheduled to go in at 8 p.m. and I went into labor early that morning. So I was in labor all fucking day.
Oh,
Until 2 in the morning.
Wow.
I was just like, I'm just gonna have him. Like I didn't want any medicine, but
yeah, I had natural childbirth with Pitocin.
but he was
That was
positioned in
lovely.
me in like a weird way because the doctor was like, "How are you not?" Because I was like, "This isn't that fucking bad." You know what I mean? But he was positioned in a way where I wasn't really feeling the contractions as intensely as I was supposed to.
Oh,
Because they were off the charts, you know. But I'm like, what was everybody fucking talking about? This isn't that fucking bad, you know.
but it was the way that. Oh,
I mean,
man.
it sucked, but it
could have been a lot worse.
I know it, like I should have been screaming at through some of that, and I wasn't. But he had the umbilical cord wrapped around him, and he was kind of like a seashell, like curled up.
Oh,
So they had to there was a lot of shit that happened with the doctors that were just incompetent to begin with. It could have went a lot better, but the anesthesiologist went in there and kicked everybody the fuck out, made me sign forms, and ran me to the back.
Yo, it was like so quick and intense, dude. Like the anesthesiologist comes in, starts his fucking barking orders at every fucking person in the room, and tells me fucking scrub out, put this on. I have a beard, right? And he's like, fucking put this hairnet on your fucking face, and fucking I still had long hair. He's like,
Did you have to mask your beard?
Put on the gown, blah 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 blah. And before I had the shit on, he's like, all right, never fucking mind. We got to go now. And so, like, I was left there, like, with a fucking, my gown halfway on and my fucking hairnet halfway on my face. And I'm like, are they okay? What the fuck's going on, dude? I was freaking out.
Like,
dude,
you just don't even have time to think about it, right? Like, it's just.
I wish I could have been there for your beard.
Dude, it was fucking terrifying. And I don't fucking trust doctors as a result of that, dude. Like, that was fucking one of the most terrifying fucking experiences of my life.
And imagine now what I started thinking about was now what about all these kids and all these children that are growing up in the middle of this conflict on top of COVID, what happened? Now we have on top of it, we have all this other shit happening with Russia. And now imagine what these kids are going to be facing. Like the adults in the room are failing generations to come. We are failing generations to come. And I don't trust doctors. I don't trust them now, especially now. I trust them even less now.
There's a great documentary about refugee families who got over to Sweden or somewhere over there, and they're being threatened with being taken back. And the fucking kids that have gone through the trauma of like Syrian war and all this shit, they literally go into a comatose state when they find out that they could go back.
It's a shock. It's I bet that's the shock, and that's horrendous, because if the shock is that much from an emotional pain, it can have a psychosomatic response, cause you to freeze out. I've seen it happen.
It's gonna change generations down the road.
It actually messes with your brain development, because cortisol, the stress hormone, will fuck with your I think it can have an effect on the mutagenicity, or how much your DNA can mutate, but it's more so cortisol is a stressful impacting hormone. So it puts your body into fight or flight, and that amount, to hear someone freeze up off of that, because I've seen it maybe once or twice, just usually in recovery, but not anything on that level though. Like I've seen someone faint before from shock, but that's heartbreaking.
Well, that's kind of how you know that the wars are economic in nature, because when refugees trying to leave, the people that started the wars are like, no, fuck you. We need our slave market there. Like, we expect you to be our fucking labor pool, our forced labor pool for our fucking decreased wages. And like, you're not allowed to fuck with our fucking our labor force that we fucking spent all this money to kill people to get. So,
and not only that, but look at how people were able to flip the whole calling truckers petty bourgeois. Calling truckers petty bourgeois is probably one of the most fucking hilarious, absurd, detached from reality things I've ever heard in my life. Because if anyone's ever known like a long haul trucker and knows what kind of hours they got to put in to put food on the table, knows that an owner, those type of arrangements where they may have a financing on their rig is fucked. Like they usually have to pay that back. And I think it's called an owner operator agreement. It's not what people think it is. They're not small business owners to the extent.
It's basically like you're contracted kind of like an Uber driver. Basically.
Yeah.
That's where
so
Uber,
you're
Uber got
And
their.
like you're
Uber.
correct.
driving,
So you're 1099. Yeah.
and then if something if something happens to it, you're fucked. Like
Mhm.
that's your business. Like
Then
that.
you
If that's
even
all
then
you
you
have.
even need to
Like,
go into more debt to fix it.
Right. You know
Yep.
what? I'm surprised that the the amount of people who don't have houses to live in haven't been just like snatched up in detainment camp and made to work for their fucking UBI or whatever the fuck.
oh yeah, this is what I was getting
why haven't
at.
they done that yet? That seems like that's
I
probably
mean, Steve,
very soon.
I think they're already doing that, and to an extent that this look at the school to prison pipeline, look at
yeah.
look at the prison industrial complex, look at
I just mean the
our
ones
vice
that are
president.
impacting
Yeah.
right now on the streets of LA and other major cities all over.
Oh, I gotcha.
Well, yeah, and you know what?
Oh,
I
thanks, Rob.
realized I had this huge epiphany earlier. I looked at Steve and I was like, oh my God. I'm like, you know what? They really fucked this shit up. They really could have gotten a lot more people. You know how they could have gotten a lot more people? If they had given people fucking Medicare for all and given them a fucking UBI and done all those things that we all said that they should have done. And if we had actual like a mutual aid government, you know what I mean? Like that's what the government's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a giant mutual aid, right?
in government
But
right
the
now
thing
are like
is
yeah.
if
Is it?
but if they had given people UBI, had they given people health care and all of that, can you imagine the situation that we would be in right now? It would be even worse because then they could say, oh, you didn't do what we told you. Now we're taking that away and you have nowhere to go back to. You have
Exactly.
even less. Like if they had done it the right way, they would have done that. And I'm glad that
Like-
they didn't in hindsight. But at the beginning of this, I'm thinking like, oh, they're going to have to give us healthcare. They're going to have to give us income if they're going to shut us down.
Lucky
you know?
hit it because
Like,
they then
Lucky-
used that as the excuse
Oh.
because they were able to say and to hype up the pandemic fears because they were able to
Yeah.
say because it's such a
Yeah.
deadly pandemic and the government
Deadly
like they
pandemic. It's a
fetishize
deadly
the government.
pandemic. It's a deadly pandemic. It's a
Yeah.
deadly
They
pandemic.
could've
They
made
won't
it-
give healthcare.
they
It's a
could've
deadly
made it-
pandemic.
Yeah, they kind of
What was that rule of propaganda where if you
They
repeat
could add
stuff
about-
enough, it'll
They could have had at least
Tell a
20.
lie.
Yeah.
If you tell a lie often enough and with enough repetition, it doesn't matter if it's true or not. It becomes the truth.
and
Okay,
who said
what?
that?
Look what.
Goebbels.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well-
Look what's happening with Russia right now.
Sorry,
the Russian
fuckface
citizens. They're the Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, all these companies,
Mhm.
American Express, are all taking their business elsewhere. So people are fucked. They can't even get their money.
Yep.
Like
So it's
it's
that
absolutely
same thing.
ridiculous. They would do that here in a minute, and they'll have a
That
global
is the end
credit score
result of
system.
centralized power, friends.
Exactly. They showed
Hunter.
everybody in
Hunter,
grades
you're
they could
muted.
take all the money.
You're muted, Hunter.
No.
Let's make our own currency, and it doesn't even have to be crypto.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm hoping.
That's
for,
what I was
Steve,
saying,
like,
Hunter. I was actually saying. Oops, sorry.
Yeah,
Toenails. That's our new currency.
yeah.
How about
Toenails.
seashells?
Got
Let's
a
go.
finite
No.
amount. You can only have so many toenails in
I
the
was
world.
thinking there was so much trash on the fucking side of the freeway yesterday, like trash, bottles, and recycling.
Yeah.
And we'll just make it our own fucking
The
currency.
thicker the toenail,
We have to think
the more,
about-
the more money,
Oh my
the,
God,
the
Steve.
more it's worth,
Ew.
right? Because I think
We
I
have
Well,
to-
Hunter,
think I
so
might have hit a
I
windfall.
was actually
Whatever-
thinking of that. Oh. I didn't mean to cut you off, Lucky.
I mean, it's all a barter system, right? It doesn't matter what it is, as long as we say that means that much. That's what it is. Just like
Yep.
like buttons and antlers and they've used everything. Buckskins is
Yeah.
where we get the term buck. You know what I mean? Like, so whatever it is that we decide is worth something is what is worth something. So we don't like. I tend to try to barter outside of the system as much as possible, like all the time. I'm always down for barter. I'm always down for barter. But I think it's become less and less common for people, and it's easier for people to just use like a note. You know what I mean? I always try to tell people I'm totally good without if we don't have to trade a note, then I'm good with that. Like I had my van worked on, and my friend Chuck and I used to do it, and it was always bud, and it was always, like we bartered like almost all of it. We hardly ever traded any cash, and the only reason would be is because he's like, yeah, I got to get some gas, so like he needed the cash to do that part of it. But otherwise, like, it's all barter. I mean, think about it. Like, that's what the mutual aid is too, is that we have that mutual barter system,
I used to
Well,
flash my
and-
titties
and-
and get shit.
Yep.
See, that's a barter.
I mean, I tried, Hunter, but
Barter?
they would actually pay me to put my shirt back on.
I'd be willing to give it a shot.
I mean, Shadow, I tried. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I already tried the balded beard look, and it wasn't working.
Fucking Quinn wants to see my hairy man tits.
Hey, we're not supposed to talk about that Chippendales meeting, okay? Steve, you promised.
Quinn has kind of a problem objectifying handsome bearded men. On
That's
live.
right.
I mean,
Because he's
I'm
jealous.
promised
He
more
wants
too,
to
so-
roll off the pants on his face. He's running
I
around
mean,
naked.
everybody's got a fetish, right? There's women who sell farts in jars on eBay, and they
That
make
is a
that.
good point.
That is their.
that-
Hey, if you've got a fart jar hustle,
Excellent
I'm not
reference.
even one to judge. If you were able to sell your farts, congratulations. God
But the
bless.
lady
Yes.
ended up in the hospital because she ate too many of the wrong foods, trying to make her
So
fart
true.
Well,
jars.
now that's getting too involved in your art.
Now she needs
right
health
there.
care. Now she needs health care.
She-
Labor intensive.
she's in the middle of her own deadly pandemic.
Self-created pandemic.
Her silent
Yeah.
but deadly pandemic.
I mean, like, how do you what happens if like you're like, wait, I ordered this jar and it doesn't smell like what you said it was going to. What the hell? I mean, come on now.
I think it's a
How do
buyer
you
beware
capture that
situation.
properly?
They
How
could
do
get a refund.
Hi, whoever you are.
Who's that?
That
That's
jar
Ty.
didn't smell like
Hi,
ass.
Ty.
Hi, Ty.
Hi, you come say hi.
Ty, hi,
This is my
We're all on
cup.
screen now.
We saw you sneaking by.
How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Good.
You have to
Ty
say who
hears
we
us
are.
talk all the time. Leo, give Ty some love.
That's Shadowbanned.
Oh,
That's Jack. That's Tina.
we always hear Pasta yelling, Paulie!
What up, Wally?
Paulie! Yeah, so,
Wally bag of donuts.
yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta love that Italian fucker.
What was the term that I was using, and it had Polly in it, and it was confusing the fuck out of us because every time I said it, you're like, "What?"
Poly substance abuser.
Oh.
Yes.
And he remembers
Yes,
it,
and
of course.
That's my diagnosis.
Guilty.
Yeah, I'm
And I'm
raising
also
my hand
Polly.
too.
Ding.
He's making vegan bolognese.
Oh
Yeah,
my
he's,
God.
yeah,
I've never had that.
Vegan balls and what?
Tell him to not go so crazy with eggshells.
It's,
I know there's shooting eggshell things happening. What is happening in that house?
Oh, I had eggs from the BLT in my hair.
Like, let me explain that real quick.
We had a
Now we
something
know
about
the
Mary moment.
producer of the egg.
You're the egg projector.
The egg
Hold on,
projectile.
I was gonna say what came first, the chicken or the egg, but I don't want to know.
I totally saw that coming. LOL.
We are so cheesy.
What are you guys talking
Yeah.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
gosh, we are so cheesy.
about? Well, I gotta go.
Okay, he's going back.
all right.
Yeah,
So
that'll
Brian,
happen.
Bye, time.
Next
It was
Love
nice
you,
to see you on screen. Ty.
Nice talking to you. I'll probably see you guys somewhere or something soon.
Yeah, we will.
Okey-dokey,
We will
so-
see you around.
Bye-bye.
See you around.
Send everyone else our love too. Don't
Will.
support everybody with egg. You know, I mean, like, and not everybody likes egg on their face. Okay, I don't know where that exactly comes from.
I'm gonna go in a second. I still gotta go drive.
Oh yeah, you got a long drive to go to.
Drive.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Drive.
That sounds fun.
Thanks for popping on with us.
Oh
I
yeah.
love you.
Yeah, I shower. I've said this before. I help my friend who I met. She was a caregiver with me, and her family is mostly like undocumented, and they have their grandma in the house. And they don't have health care and they don't like trust people because they're super scared of people calling immigration on them. So I go and help shower her grandma and shit.
Oh,
But it's far right now. Usually it's close to me because it's on like the south side of LA, but I'm in Pasadena in the Convo house right now for the next like week or so. And then but I have to drive down there and it takes fucking hours and it's not that long. It's not that far.
really? Oh, is it just because of the traffic?
Yep.
I haven't driven LA. I haven't driven in that area.
You would die.
I have. The 405 is satanic. Every aspect of it, from the standpoint that if you know what the 110.
Yes, no, yeah, that's why I have to drive.
Jesus, so like near Woodland Hills or like that area, like the valley
that's
area?
the 101 that connects to the 405.
Yeah, the 101.
Yeah, the one.
Oh, so the 110 down to
one's parallel to the 405 and goes
That's
right
right.
through downtown LA, but that's the only way you can get. Well, and the 710, but that goes straight to Long Beach. Our freeway system is so fucked up.
You know how long it took for me to pronounce Sepulveda?
Sepulveda?
I used to live on
That's right.
Sepulveda in Manhattan Beach. So
Oh, nice.
yeah.
I had friends near down further one of the bays. You know, I can't think of them now. Oh my god. You know where the Ferris wheel is?
Santa Monica?
Santa Monica, Jesus. Santa Monica Pier, right? Not near the pier, but get I had friends in
Pacific
Century
Park.
City and then friends that were further down from there. There's another one where it's not. There's one where it's super expensive to live in. They weren't at that one. I forget what that one is.
The Manhattan Beach. Manhattan Beach is the worst. It's the devil. That's where Teddy and I grew up, and somehow we didn't come out like those shitty ass people. And all the people we went to school with their parents worked for Northrop and Boeing, because we have all that right here in Manhattan Beach or over there. And we hate it a lot.
Hunter, that's why I adopted you.
That's
that's why I adopted you.
That's really funny. All the comments.
You know,
all the
here
boys
in fucking Borque, we got fucking Sandia National Labs, Kirtland fucking Air Force Base, and fucking Los Alamos National Labs, right?
Yeah.
So we've got fucking Honeywell, we've got Northrop, we got fucking all of those weapons contractors, and all the rich fucking people worked for that fucking institution, making fucking some figures a year.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the worst things that, like, when I joined the fucking union, was coming to fucking terms with, the majority of the fucking union contracts happen to be with weapons contractors. And like, this is something that I've actually went into pretty hardcore detail with one of my union brothers. He's a syndicalist. He's a libertarian socialist is what he calls himself. And like, that's almost by design, right? It's to make unions more reactionary and more fucking nationalist and more fucking rah war.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because we see fucking checks in our banks based on fucking killing people. And like, I came to the conclusion that I was working for a fucking institution that was fucking made to kill children on purpose.
Matrix bar?
All right. Wait, you got to drive.
Oh, I haven't had any.
I'll be okay. She says Matrix bars are.
I haven't had any Matrix bars.
Neat.
I'm so
Oh,
jealous.
dude, I'll get some for you. I'll send them to you.
Oh, I have to send you your
allegedly
package. I have to send. I'm gonna send your package tomorrow. I'm gonna make Steve send it in the mail tomorrow.
Sorry, Shadowbanned.
Allegedly.
I'm like, I can't say I
By
will.
package, we mean emails
Emails.
What
Allegedly.
were you saying?
of gospel.
Well, like
Gospel sound waves samples.
like my first dispatch with the union was to go work on a building that they were retrofitting, which the purpose of that building is to retrofit the B-6112. And that is a nuclear bomb, like hundreds of nuclear bombs that they built in 1968 or 1958 or some shit like that. And they were retrofitting them for ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, and bunker busters and all kinds of other shit. And I can say this because it's not classified intel. You can look it up on Wikipedia, which is how I know about it.
Do you remember those silo fires? I there's I can't remember the name of the documentary, but it covers there was someone dropped a wrench. I think it was a Minuteman II or maybe an Atlas. It's one of the ICBM's intercontinental ballistic missile programs. In the silo, one of the maintenance guys drops a wrench. It hits a gas valve, sets off. I think it was one of the NOS tanks. So when again NOS, it's liquid oxygen, highly flammable.
Nitrous oxide.
Yeah. Or I think it's LOX, which is liquid oxygen. I think nitrous is a oxygen enhancer. I'm not a chemist, but
it
burns different
nitrous oxide sulfate
than regular oxygen.
It may be, it may be. You're right, because I think it may have that term. But so like they dropped the wrench, and then this is what ended up happening. While there's a nuke that's on fire, their orders were to stay and essentially die putting out the fires.
What?
They're on fire with chemical burns, and that's what their superiors told them. There's a great
course.
documentary about all of the nuclear failures. It covers that. I think I forgot the name of the area, but the media lied at first and denied that it was a nuclear area, and then they were trying to calm the public, but that only made it worse because people that lived there knew what it was.
Yeah.
But it's only Chernobyl. It's only Chernobyl that happened.
Yeah.
It's only Chernobyl, you guys. There's no 3 Mile Island. There's no Fukushima. There's no Nagasaki, Hiroshima. All the nuclear.
I think
none of those things ever happened
in Ukraine.
I think what you were saying a minute ago, Paulie, about working for that industry has to be like that, right? So all these high paid people and this like trickle down, like it's all very fortunate for everyone who works around that industry. Everybody around it is supported in some way. And then of course all of those people are very patriotic and nationalistic, and that's what you're fostering, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Keeping that ideal in people's brains for generations, because this is what my grandfather did, this is what my and fucking so on and so forth.
Protecting America.
Protect America.
Okay, I'm gonna hop off. Bye,
Okay,
guys.
Thanks for joining us, Hunter. Safe
I
travels.
love you.
Love you.
6-hour drive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
10 miles, 6 hours somehow.
Go easy.
Well,
Bye.
send everyone our love and drive safe, and
Okay.
text me when you're home, okay, daughter?
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I love Hunter.
Yeah, she's nice.
She's a blast.
She is.
We have been fucked for decades. That's correct.
That is a true statement.
Yeah.
We
And,
can actually back that.
Prop wants to know if this is a naked or bust hour. I guess we're busting.
I mean, Prop, I would, but
Bust
you'd vomit. I don't want to
Let
hurt
me
anyone's
go-
eyes.
He's like, I'm on screen naked. That counts, right?
I don't know, Rob Juno, pink
Nah,
yeah,
Prop.
Buddha sounds
You're the naked hour because you refuse to grow a fucking beard. You punk bitch.
Yeah, Prop, what's with that, man? You could have a glorious, it'd be an amazing beard. It'd be like a beard of beards, a beard amongst beards.
I
You'd
know.
be like the only Canadian with a beard.
He wouldn't know. He would get very confused at night. Okay, with my hair, I like try like really hard to not like throw my hair like over my shoulder and like whack Steve in the face like while we're sleeping.
Punk.
Could you imagine Prop with all that hair
Sometimes.
trying to like and a beard? Like he wouldn't like know where he was. Like
Well,
he
yeah,
would-
because I used to. Well, I didn't have curly hair. I didn't have lovely flowing curly locks.
and I
does,
feel like they
but-
smell like maple syrup. Just saying. I feel like that's the
Probably
thing.
does.
And then don't
That's
bust
probably
my
why he has
bubble.
curly
Don't
hair.
bust
It's
my
probably because
fantasy
he
bubble.
conditions his hair with fucking maple syrup.
I mean, I was gonna say moose sweat, but I didn't know where we were going with that.
I'm thinking moose sweat and yank
I don't
bug.
know.
Hey, don't knock it. Don't knock it till you try it.
Maybe that's what moose sweat smells like is maple syrup.
Hey, we've seen videos of mooses
Meese.
Meese.
Mooses or
on the
meese?
highway.
What are they? Are they mooses?
Moose eye.
Meese.
No, they're like
Meese.
mini
Moose
elephants,
could
man. I
definitely
didn't
be
realize how
meese.
big they are. Yeah, they're what?
Funny story about mooses, meese. One
so
time we
weird.
were working over at the Sunport, me and my old apprentice Dave, and to really get people's fucking gears all grinding and riled up, we fucking played a 12-hour set of moose sounds as loud as we could while we were working on the arrival section outside, so people would be walking out of the building and hear and It was fucking awesome, dude.
That's
It
a
was
beautiful sound. It's so soothing.
Making
like
moose
Billy
noise here. That's beautiful.
Elle,
I'll give you
Elle,
the
Elle with
ASMR.
her.
I got him. I got him to laugh so hard he had to get off camera.
Hey, I made Franco get up off the stream, put his headphones down on the desk, and he walked away.
Yeah,
I did it,
it was awesome. Wait,
Got
they were
Franco
really wearing
mad.
Ukrainian dresses? What?
He couldn't handle it. He couldn't handle the virtue signal. Was too bad. It was just such a strong virtue signal.
What I want to know is,
Elle, let's do Moose ASM. What would Moose ASMR be like? Would it just be like gnawing on branches and
really
mating noises? Like you'd hear this like it'd be this calm like, and then all of a sudden,
She's like,
or is it more like a ronk? Is it more like
be
ronk?
careful,
He's
you
gonna
guys.
be going around
There's
doing this the
moose
rest of the night
around.
now, guys. Thanks. Now the rest of the you gotta
I'm
start
gonna
with the
conk
moose
out.
groaning.
There's gonna be like horny female moose out there. Like,
So now that we have all the horny mooses tied in,
daddy.
tuned in,
Yeah, he's gonna come back with like cuts on his head. Like, what happened, honey? Oh, the moose ladies were
I mean, we were close.
anyone's
moving.
pretty good. That's what happened. Sleeping.
It's like it's saying
That's
something.
the mooses. He is a
He's
moose.
very upset.
It sounds like it's saying fuck.
Dude, they're the most metal animal ever. They can like kill you like by looking at you. They have like X-ray like Superman
Yeah.
vision, like with
They're like,
right.
My grandma used to go hunt elk, and she used to
You
go
know,
pack in for 3 weeks and go
elk-
hunt elk hunting to get food for her family.
elk are fucking
That's
gigantic
the
too.
gangster.
Moose.
Your grandma
elk,
was a gangster,
that's
but
some big
meat,
ass
they're the real gangsters of the world.
meese.
We're the meese.
Motherfucking meese, yo.
Billy.
Well,
Is
I'm
that
not
why they
moose
call
yet,
it the
yo.
Mises Institute?
The Mises Institute.
Okay, is it the
Oh,
planets?
man.
Is it us or is it the planets? What's happening?
not
Are we just
sure.
crazy or is
Let's
the planets
consult.
making us crazy? I have a real question here.
It just
that a-
depends.
is that a question or-
They're going to influence you in some kind of way,
Yeah.
whether you fucking like it or not, or believe it or not.
That's what I was
Whether
afraid
you
of.
fucking like it or not. That's what I was waiting for.
Magnetism. We are. Here's the science. Trust the science. We are an electromagnetic being, and our central nervous system is an electromagnetic system of pulses.
Meat with electricity.
Meat
That's
with
fucking
electricity.
weird.
See,
It is weird.
we're meat with electricity in it, and when there are specific things that interrupt your electromagnetic field, it fucks with you. Isn't that?
Yeah.
So like
We
we
are
have people
electric
with
meat.
cancer that live under transmission lines.
Excellent band name as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Electric
all
meat.
of the
Kick
high
ass band
power lines and high power, we call them high gain antennas that I worked with. Like they never, the safety training we got was like the liability part, right? It was the hey, don't put your finger in an electric outlet. You
Why
know, like
not?
that kind of shit. It wasn't, hey, this directional that can go 20 miles, 21, 50, 12 on a unclear day, 20 miles on a fully clear day. Yeah, don't worry about that. You can stand right in front of it. It's not going to fuck with you.
Yeah, kind of fucking ridiculous. The things that we think are scientific.
Had another, yeah, like, and to that point, had another friend that was doing work on microwave stations, and they had one, it was I'm not going to go into too many details, but it was a building to building system. And just to give you an idea of how fucking powerful this was, there was a pigeon. There were pigeons. There weren't afterwards, but there were pigeons
They don't
when they
exist.
went to turn it on. No, they turned it on, and within 10 feet of that with that antenna, any life that came in front of that died. They saw birds flying in front of it that would just, it was fucking nuts. He was explaining it to me, and I was like, so they didn't tell you to not walk in front of it. They're like, no, we just kind of saw the shit happen. I was like, that's pretty fucked up.
That's hella fucked up. And plus birds aren't real. That's why they had to get all like new robots.
And Australia is totally a psyop. It's fake.
Yes.
Birds aren't
It's an island
real.
off the coast of
They're
Texas.
marmots that are very clever and have put on feather suits.
feather suits and have figured out the fucking mechanics that human
Bedazzled.
beings can't.
Australia is
Bedazzled feather
actually an
Rohan.
island off the coast of Texas, right? Oz whistles.
Rohan.
Wait, what?
Rohan.
Yeah, the Brotherhood of the Righteous Order of the Holy
Oh
Anointed Marmot.
yeah.
Yes. Can't leave out the holy anointed marmots. Come on.
And then we could do. I was thinking Soham, like the sisterhood, but I don't know how Soham sounds. Sisterhood.
So
of-
ham, you know.
Sisterhood.
The
of-
traveling pants. The traveling pantsuits for Pelosi.
The
Pantsuits.
Pelosi
The traveling
pantsuit of the marmots. Sisterhood.
I'm like so far behind on you guys in this chat. Yes.
Hey, everybody!
We're gonna be like in like an old folks home, or in our hopefully we all grow old
Oh,
in an
I
intentional
figured out-
community, right? And we'll just be like the
That'd be
old
nice.
people sitting there that go, remember this. We'll have like our own little sign language.
I think that's
They
Pelosi's
told us we're not
gesture
allowed to
to
talk
her
about it
Xanax
anymore.
guy.
Gestures to the
Mama
Xanax
needs her
guy.
medicine. Mama's doing her knuckle things. Get her mama her
Yeah.
meds, her num nums.
Mama's rubbing her knuckles together again.
Gosh.
all you Pelosi lovers
Or
in the
that.
chat, shout out.
Yeah,
to,
we're sorry, all of
to
you
all. We're
Pelosi
very-
fans.
We are sorry to the because
Are we?
she does have a nice pantsuit.
No, that wasn't
most of the time.
That was a
Ain't nobody
response
gonna
to
give
this
her a pearl
whole
necklace neither. Period.
Ew.
Ain't nobody seen that fucking cobweb ridden thing in a long time.
Let's
weird timing with this comment in the chat, but this is in reference to C-section and not this bitch that I am.
Oh my god, what?
That women can have C-sections and pull through. Like, it's very difficult, as everyone knows, and my mother knows, unfortunately. But women are strong as fuck because they can deal with that pain.
yeah, I've seen some
Yeah.
crazy shit.
Propaganda has some truth
Along
right
those
here. He
lines.
says more chin under one's chin doesn't make them a better person.
More hair.
Not
under-
Pelosi.
Rubbing your knuckles together for burn pits.
We never made
Come
that
on,
claim.
everybody.
We just wanted you to join our non-cult group.
That we
It's an
definitely don't
LLC,
follow.
right?
That we definitely don't pray to Sleepy in.
That's right.
Definitely
Is
don't
it
pray
an
to
LLC, guys?
Not-
Sleepy Josh is not the deity that that some people think he is. Okay, I'm just gonna say that. Maybe
We love you, Sleepy J.
We love you, Sleepy.
Is Sleepy J in here? Is he here?
I don't
He's
think
too
so.
sleepy.
He's
Oh.
sleeping.
He's probably sleeping.
Somebody buy him a coffee for.
He was sleeping earlier. Yeah, don't forget to buy Sleepy J a coffee. That's buy me a coffee /
Bort?
Bort.
Oh man,
Bort.
are we
Yeah,
failing
Bort/Bort.
our slow news day? We're
No,
we're
it's-
failing
no, it's
our slow
Bort-
news day
Bort/Bort.
initiation.
Buy me a coffee, or I'll find it.
Is it a .com or a .org or a .something or a
We're like on a
It's,
mission to find
that's
a way
buy
to
me a
I think
coffee
it's .com.
.puto
buy me a coffee right now.
something / Bort.
Yeah, the last part is Bort for sure.
Bort.
The first part is buy me a coffee.
Bart is a BORT. It's buy me a coffee, all one word, .com / Bort,
Mhm.
BORT, B as in boy.
Boom.
Or B as in Bort.
Because
Because
There
Elle
you go.
and Jack are like the ultimate like researchers. Like you guys are freaking brilliant, and you guys just pull stuff out of places.
I mean,
My
I just
ass.
sometimes the recall memory
And
is
those
really
two
weird.
too. I know. I'm just saying, like all you guys with your freaking things. You guys. Oh my god! Look,
Our
we found it.
computers.
Wait
Here,
until you
first
see
time.
this. Look, we love you so much, Sleepy.
what are you doing?
That look at this.
Yep, we should have a link soon.
Board.
Oh, cute.
There you go, people.
That we figured it out.
Twice
We
sleepy.
figured it out.
That's right.
He's a peanut.
Yes.
Kind of is a peanut.
That's Mr. Peanut to you.
Mr. Peanut.
Okay.
He's a very
Mind you,
angry
he-
Mr. Peanut.
He has a monocle, for fuck's sake.
He has a lot to be angry about. People keep trying to eat him.
Does anybody have any opinions on the?
Oh, look, it says Hunter bought 4 coffees.
I believe it was either
Aw.
a mayor or the governor of Ohio.
Is that our
with a
Hunter?
giant 10-gallon hat.
Oh,
yeah.
Rob Juno bought coffees.
What is up with that?
He bought coffees. Oh, people bought him coffees.
See?
Coffees. Nobody special.
I can't join this because I don't do caffeine. So
I want.
Holy shit, Rob! 200 coffees.
Holy shit!
That's awesome, Rob.
That's a lot
is
of
a
coffee.
fucking
Not embarrassed,
saint.
Rob.
We should all build the statue to Rob in the metaverse and also in what's
Can we
the
do it
other
in real
one?
life? I like real life art.
Well, so what I was thinking when we do our when they roll out the digital twins, there's going to be the actual resistance, which will actually be like probably just a mixture of people that don't want to work for imperialist endeavors anymore. So create the parallel structure.
Yep.
And then well, because like what I was thinking is that like because essentially like I've been thinking the whole thing is like, okay, there's going to be an extent to which there's going to be interaction with the metaverse just because it's with all this shit, like with what they're doing with crypto, what they're doing with all this stuff. Because Hunter made a good point. It's a point that I try to make all the time, is that it's not a matter of if we're going to need mutual aid. Like we're already past that point. It's a matter of we need to start like I've already started something I would recommend everyone do is barter with learn how to barter first, because like it's kind of something we've forgotten in many ways, right? Like assigning things and like being able to make sure that like sort of what I'm getting at is that your biggest asset right now is a stockpile of your local your neighbors, your people that you can count on. And we've been living in, again, part of the mass formation, all that stuff, not necessarily even a mass formation, just in general, society's been antisocial, like of just putting people online. Twitter is the worst form of communication I've ever seen invented. Like it's nuts. But so essentially what I'm getting at is that so like when people are like, if someone's saying that there's an argument for or against mutual aid, it's like, okay, yeah, you can go over the points, but we're going to need structures like that regardless.
Yep. I agree.
So
That's
like
why
with
I've
the
been
metaverse,
talking
I'm
about
trying to figure out a version.
intentional communities. I want to know where like I want to really start having a conversation about like, are we going to do this? Do people want to have an intentional community? Because that's where I'm going.
Where?
We
Where do
can
you
figure
do
this
that?
out.
That's the question.
You need to find a Bitcoin millionaire that'll bankroll the thing.
We don't
Or
really
we can
need.
build a Bitcoin
We don't
millionaire
need.
for Bitcoin.
We don't really.
As long as we know it's private
need
key.
it.
There's ways we can do it for sure.
We can figure it out. We can do it without like, but that's what we need to do is start having the conversation of how we're going to do it. Do we want to do this? Do we want to continue what we're doing, or do we want to like actually work towards having an actual place where we're going to have our own parallel society and we're going to grow and we're going to, like that's what we're going to do.
There's
a lot of that,
like here in New Mexico, like in Taos and Pecos, a lot of places up north. There's a lot of communities like that out here. They're cool. You know what I mean? They do their own shit. They fucking live off the grid, and they've already kind of created that in a lot of places out here.
So let's do it.
I have family in Pecos. I can't fucking stand any of them, but they're beautiful mountains. That's like a pretty place to
Sangre de Cristos.
But see, that's the thing. We don't have to. We can learn from those communities and do our own. And I feel like we have enough people with enough skills and everything else. We can do this. We have the people that know how to do the research, that know how to read the grants, to write the grants, to get the funds. We can make this happen if we decide that we're going to do it and commit to it. Then there's nothing that's going to stop us.
And I would recommend for everyone, I slept on Buckminster Fuller way too late in my life than I'm comfortable with, but that was my own shit. I've rediscovered, and just like what he talks about is exactly this. He says you can't overtake this Malthusian death economy head on. You've got to build a parallel society that functions on its own that becomes the dominant system because it's the better system, not just from like he goes into more details, but the way he explains it is amazing, and his backstory is amazing. Like he didn't have like a formal education, so he was kind of like a black sheep of like the scientific like community because of how shit is now. It was even worse back then. It's worse now, but back then and it was the same shit.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that this is really important, I think. He theorized a molecule known as carbon-60. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. People are selling it for like health or whatever, and I can't make any claims on it on that regards. But he literally just thought of a molecule. If you've seen those buckyballs, right? Those things that you can expand. That's what that is. It's a 60-sided carbon molecule. And again, I'm not a chemist, but he just thought of that and was like, this should exist. And then people were able to actually make it.
Wow.
And supposedly it's got like antioxidant properties, but I need to do more research into it.
That's pretty fucking wild.
There's even
Be able to break it down.
There's an algae that takes hydrocarbons and shit out of water. I just learned this in my environmental sciences class last semester. But this woman discovered it basically happens in brackish water that doesn't have a whole lot of oxygen. This algae, it literally takes hydrocarbons and all kinds of shit out. So like I forget her name. She's finding a way to get it in the ocean to get a lot of the shit out. You know what I mean? And I think that's really cool. Little things like that are starting to happen to clean up the fucking mess we made.
Absolutely.
That's what my thing is too, is like when I hear people talk about climate change, but we need to talk about pollution. Talk about the companies that are polluting. You'll never see Extinction Rebellion or any of these like dark money funded groups talking about actual corporate pollution, actual environmental, the extent of it.
Then it reflects on them. That's why.
In comparison to fucking pollution, right? Because it's all about fucking CO2, 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 CO2. And everyone's forgot about chemical pollution across the fucking planet and oceans and fucking everything else. It's all fucking atmospheric CO2 that's considered the fucking bad thing. When a good fucking start to fixing the CO2 in the atmosphere is plant some fucking trees and stop deforesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also all the masks from their 2-year-plus pandemic with something that doesn't even work most of the time, according to their own studies. Those have been flooding the seas, and
Elle has a video on it. Like, remember
it was so fucking windy driving into Albuquerque. We're like, I don't know, 20 miles south of Albuquerque, and there's a huge fence, along like the open space, and it's just fucking masks stuck to the fence. You can't even see through it. It's just there. It's fucked up.
Damn.
Also, remember the ventilators, that whole scam that they were doing? Everybody, we gotta have ventilators. They get all the ventilators, and then they end up in a fucking, in the middle of nowhere, like all piled up. Brand new ventilators.
It's almost like,
what was it, Kyle Slidell? What was the name of the doctor that? Yeah, exactly, Shadow. This whole thing is a racket, especially when you go back through the legislation. But if you guys remember, I think it was someone Slidell, maybe Kyle Slidell, or it was a New York physician, the ER trauma doctor, who was saying that these ventilators were killing people, and he was saying that they weren't working. And if you remember, the action was he got taken down.
That's crazy. That seems to be a really, really common story. Anybody spoke up about anything.
What's kind of funny about the whole mask situation is those of us in the trades that have taken OSHA 10 and or OSHA 30 know a lot about asbestos, mesothelioma, right? And we know that you cannot have stage 1 respiratory protection for asbestos. The fibers are too small. They go right through the fucking stage 1. So you need a stage 3, which is supplied air. They're too small to even filter out in a stage 2, which is the gas mask with the 2 filters right here.
Right.
They're too small to even be filtered out by that. So you need a stage 3, which is supplied air.
It's the full face respirator, right?
Yeah,
respirator,
it's the respirator that seals to your face, and you have an oxygen tank on your back.
Right.
Now, if we know that about asbestos because of mesothelioma and the dangers of asbestos, then we can extrapolate that to COVID. And asbestos particles are about 1 million times bigger than COVID particles.
Yep. There you go.
But also, you just hit on something, Shadow. Think about mask particles, the fibers in masks. You know how many people's I've seen in lines? Like if you see someone that's like, if you've seen a cat coughing up a fur ball, like I've been seeing that with people now because they're choking on mask fibers. And like, but if you look at mesothelioma, I think a lot of that was caused by the small particles getting into your like alveoli, like your lung areas. Yeah. And so like, then you look at the mask having a similar like a similar causative type effect with different and all kinds of things, because if like here's the thing, it's like going through like I and again, I didn't go through that level of OSHA training, but I still remember that you could not have people on the floor wearing PPE for extended amounts of time. I think the longest that was even allowed back then was, I think an hour was even pushing. I think you had to do like a 15 or 30 minute. It depends on, again, what level, but like to have people wearing these all day long.
Right.
Yeah, well, Skyla had to wear one at work, right? Like she works at a local retail place, and because she's not booped, she had to wear a mask, and they came to her today. She was very excited. Her boss came to her and said that they no longer have to wear them at work. Finally. But she's got like a rash on her chin, you know, just from having like the moisture of having something on your face all the time. Like it's not really like a rash, I wouldn't say. Like it's just skin, it's irritating, and she has really sensitive skin. So like, you know, finally she doesn't have to wear one. I haven't been wearing one. I don't know how how she's done it. She said she didn't care about it, but
again, everyone, if you hadn't heard, COVID is over. Thank you.
Thank you,
Putin. Allegedly, we are not doctors. We are
Vladimir Putin Daddy has single-handedly defeated the COVID-19 pandemic.
Vladimir Putin Daddy.
I'm telling you.
Kick the shit out of that Ronus.
Even in LA.
And he said, in Soviet Russia, KGB kills COVID.
A good war kills COVID.
Yeah.
Or would it be, now I almost had a good one. Almost.
Oh.
Now
we'll never know, Jack.
I know.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
Let's find out.
That creepy old Al commercial. Ugh.
Are we circling back?
Are we circling back?
Oh.
Because Elle is the circle back girl.
Somebody ring that
Circle
bell.
back.
I heard COVID is over. I wanted to circle back.
Oh, hell yeah.
And this is what you...
First, we could watch this video.
Whoa,
and then we can
whoa.
circle
What is a
back.
rip current statement?
That doesn't sound good.
A
Yeah,
rip current? Does that mean that someone took a really, really big hit off of the ocean bong and now it's like...
That's
Yeah,
a cash tide.
Here we
Oh,
go.
really? Why are new ventilators being
Wow.
crushed in Miami-Dade landfill?
That's what I mentioned. See facts. We love
Weird.
facts.
And Elle with the circle back girl.
Circle back girl. She always does, too. Always.
What is that? One of them
Like-
Remdesivir
Flawless.
machines? What is that?
Oh, my God. Are we trying to say every keyword, Steve?
What are those things?
Hydro-
$50K or some shit?
Hydrox.
$80K?
Hydrox Oreos. I mean, they're not Oreos.
Hey,
but they're
does
kind of
it
like
say on that
Oreos.
article how much one of those costs? Or no?
I
I
think it does.
See,
know,
it's in
it's
Cutler Bay.
20,000.
You own that bay, Steve. Fess up.
Do you want me to
Well-
play this? This is Elle's
Yeah,
clip.
play that. Yeah. I got it from
Steve,
the
is this your
website.
and Buddy's
but
And
it
that's a
wasn't
story you'll
working.
only see on Local 10. Boxes of brand new ventilators dumped at a local landfill.
And so what was this medical
on
treasure
that.
doing in the trash? Let's go to Local 10's Glenna Milberg live now with our exclusive tonight. Glenna.
So many questions. Calvin Cruzy, we're going to take you up to the top of the trash heap in just a minute. We're talking about millions in these ventilators. Remember, those were the most necessary medical equipment for the worst of the COVID patients. So they're trashed, they're gone, they're destroyed, and they're on video. That's making a lot of people really angry. A constant stream of waste, mattresses, tires, and at the top of Trash Mountain,
This is what's up.
It's called Trash Mountain.
a resident taking garbage to the Southgate landfill last week, stunned to see hundreds of brand new wrapped medical ventilators dumped as bulky trash.
This is what
They truck dump
is
those.
going on.
Jesus.
Brand new. Brand new.
They tell us here that what's done.
See how they're, Polly, you see how they're on the pallets?
So those ventilators are
They were still wrapped
And
on
this
pallets. So they
freaking
were
house
dumped
learning
outside of
this.
the truck.
A lot of waste. Thousands and thousands of medical units that are being just tossed out.
But why? The crates show the
But why?
Chinese manufacturer, a 35-year-old company in Beijing, Aerospace Changfeng Limited. This is the model number.
Changfeng?
We find it listed
It all
at
goes back to China.
$26,000 last spring when ventilators were in short supply for an exploding number of COVID patients. With this letter, the FDA had given emergency use authorization for a list of 86 ventilators
They've been
for
doing a lot
COVID
of that
use.
lately.
The ACM 812A is not listed there. Hello, how are you? I'm Glenna Milberg from Channel 10. This is the Doral-based customs broker that brought the pallets of brand new ventilators to the dump last week and where the information
Yep.
trail ends.
We can't give that information without first getting authorization from the importer.
Yeah, he's lying.
So without knowing who the importer is, we take it to the FDA. We learn that any
You got some
medical
fessing up to do.
device, any equipment like that,
If they got
without
Medicare or
approval,
any of that
emergency
money
or
through
otherwise
CMS,
may
then
not
he
be
has to.
legally used. And so the options are
Sorry, not to
either take
media,
it out of
but-
the country or take it to be destroyed. And this is the far less costly option of those two things.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I'm
Jilly.
Glenna Milberg, live at the South Dade
True,
landfill
Jilly.
tonight. Local 10 News.
Yeah,
Is
it's old news, but yeah.
that
That's what
ventilator authorized? You got an authorization for that?
That's
ventilator.
April of 2021.
Yeah.
Yep. That was
Mid
people were
pandemic.
talking about it. I
That,
remember it.
that makes it much worse.
I do remember hearing that story and seeing, I
Yep.
believe, that same clip.
Wow.
It's pretty
It
sad
was-
that I
it
know
was
what a
on
truck
Twitter
dump
a
looks
lot.
like.
Hey,
But-
Misha.
When you see it still wrapped on pallets, that's usually a sign it was off the back of the truck. Because
So wait, it
if
was
someone had
money
broken
laundering,
into the
right?
truck and taken it,
Yeah, it's money laundering.
no, I mean,
This is definitely
it feels that way.
misplaced.
It's
money.
no, it's definitely money laundering. That's money
We'll
laundering.
Yeah, think
say
about it.
allegedly.
You buy from a
Allegedly.
manufacturer that isn't on a list that you can then point to later on after you've already taken the grants from the government that were all in full swing for states to get their money, and then you just dump the units.
And as
You've
you
never
said,
used
the
them, and
ventilators-
you've got the Medicare money, so wow.
Just
So
chuck them
wait,
down the
wait,
same
There
road.
were people
Shadow,
who
it's the
actually
same
are
shit.
at-
hang
being
on.
blind.
Let's take a step back from this and clear. Okay, so these vents are this is from April of 2021.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah.
So last year
Mhm.
they fell off of what? A truck? Is that what you're saying?
Mhm.
They weren't
No, they
sure-
didn't fall off. They were pushed off.
Did not.
So
were
like-
dropped off.
and so the people
They never even got out of the box
got
because
paid.
they were still shrink wrapped.
They got
Yeah.
paid to make these,
Exactly.
Yes.
and they got paid to dump them, and not. But they
Or-
do you think it saved lives?
Or
Do you
hold
think
on,
that
they didn't
this
get
saved
paid to make
lives?
them.
It
What
might
if they
have.
made them? What if they made them, imported them? The shit happened. They got emergency use authorization, and then dumped them as soon as they got the money.
It might
Yeah,
have
that's what I'm
saved
saying.
lives because
It might have
It's
saved
not
lives.
80%
necessarily
of
money
the people
laundering.
who got on the vent ended up dying, basically. So, more.
Yeah, it
vents
may have
to
been the
find down
I
importer
dirt
think it
road
probably
is
saved lives.
Is probably better in the long run.
Unfortunately, how would
It's
this
not to say that
$26,000
ventilator-
a
it's not
fucking
to say that
pop
they
on
don't
that
have any
shit,
use.
eh?
Yeah, and again, it's not to say that like vents don't have any use at all. There are
No,
definite situations where
do.
you would need to
Yeah,
be put on one, but it's
just
that
not for
when
this.
you're
But not
putting
for
people
this.
that not for this exactly.
Of course.
And people were saying that, and they were told they were they were like full of shit, and they were conspiracy theorists, and they were just saying shit.
To be clear,
Back in the day.
Elle was saying that they fell off the back of the truck in the sense of like a gangster. Yeah, they fell off the back of the truck, boss.
Oops.
The scientific evidence says that they fell off the back of a truck.
Steve decoded the L language there. Did you see that?
Her implications and
I mean, the main part of that's just really kind of chilling was the fact that they were still shrink wrap, because that's just they literally just pushed it off the truck. So,
Exactly.
Shadow, I think your theory is probably one of the more accurate, is that they probably got the money under that authorization. They probably even bought the wrong one on, like, who knows? Maybe they bought it
I
accidentally.
think they got it in fucking 2019.
Yeah.
I think they got the ventilators in 2019. Fucking soaked
part
up
of the
all the
stockpile
fucking
initiative.
supply so that they could create the manufacture the fucking scarcity of the fucking
demand for it.
ventilators.
Yeah.
And then they
Allegedly.
fucking started funding the fucking ventilators.
Look at this.
And then they dumped them as soon as they got the money.
26,000 US last spring.
Yeah.
Ouch. Yeah,
I'm
those-
sure there were
Wait,
other
but look,
situations,
do you guys see? Oh
Chang
my
Chang?
god.
It all goes back to China. Everything goes back to China, but we're crazy.
China is the future. You don't understand. You're listening to Western propaganda.
Oh, George.
Except it's not now because we hate Russia, and Russia and China are friends. Why did I say baby? They're friends. So
They're
they're
baby.
like,
Russia and China walk into a bar.
babies on the line.
China says, "Hey, baby. Hey, baby.
China's
Hey."
teething, you guys. It's gonna be a little cranky this week.
Look right here. This person's
The link's
comment
in the
from,
private chat.
from May
In
of
the-
2021.
And I'll put it in here.
Ventilators turn out to be a death sentence in most cases. Bizarre situation, really. Thanks for reporting this.
Very weird. Yeah, those ventilators just disappeared, boss. I don't know.
I don't know what happened to them. I don't know
I
where the
I'm gonna
money
go
is.
with divine intervention.
Oops.
I definitely didn't throw them down the dirt road.
Do you see-
I didn't do that at all.
We most definitely
comment?
did not allegedly kick them out of the door of the truck.
What about donating them to India where they are struggling?
It says, what
Y'all
about
are
donating
silly.
ventilators to India where they're struggling with COVID-19? They don't
There's
have
always
enough
someone.
equipment to save
Yeah.
their own people. They're cremating children and adults in an open field. They're in a dire situation. What's wrong with this picture?
Could I have a picture
This
of that?
comment is what's wrong with that picture. We cannot dissect that right now.
Wow,
That
that's
is
a lot.
way
Have some
too
evidence
much.
of that.
Like,
That is way outside the fucking bounds.
woo,
All of that was
outside.
allegedly, and we were just reading it off of a comment off of a news story that never actually. This is not opinions of the show. And
Satire.
Can we throw up a fair use?
Can we?
We have a fair
In other news,
Well,
We
it
have
is
a
fair
fair
use
use.
because that's Steve Cutler's landfill. It said so right there.
Right, it was.
Cutler Bay.
back to him.
Cutler
Hey,
Waste
yeah.
Management. I knew that would
Good
come
thing
back
my
to
last
haunt
knew
me.
name is
it.
Burrito.
I knew you
I
were
heard
part
from
of
a
this
questionably sourced weasel that Buddy was involved, actually.
Buddy.
Bonkers from Yonkers.
Well, buddy.
Could not be reached for comment.
Yes, he
In
got his
other news-
accomplice bonkers. His
There's more.
Sicilian marmot.
Yeah, Sicilian Marmot Syndicate. Sicilian Marmot
The,
Syndicate.
the marmot.
The
syndicate.
SMS is not to be messed with, you guys. The SMS.
SNS.
I have more current news also on that front.
All right.
On that back.
to
On that
the
circle back.
vaccine.
Circle back,
Yeah.
girl. She needs her own little song, like a little clip.
I think I'm just gonna record you with one of Leo's little command things of you saying "circle back, girl," and I'll just press
Circle
the
back,
button.
girl.
Listen, then we could have one like this that says,
Dude, I can't believe goddamn Lucky Burrito subscribed to me.
Classic.
Okay. Now, what were you saying, Elle?
we need one of those that says "circle back, girl."
Let's
No,
circle
we-
back.
It's in the private chat, Yahoo News, with the circle back. But basically, the news in California, if you want to know, LA specifically, is they let the they let the vaxxed people go first and take off their masks if they wanted to, which they of course didn't because they're the vaxxed people, and they're most likely to wear a mask. In most cases in LA, I'm speaking from LA from experience of seeing people with masks in various cafes and shit. Which is all very ridiculous when you think about it, because you
And
just
this
have to
one
take it
is
off
current.
to eat or drink.
This one's
So it's all
current.
very stupid.
COVID only hangs about this high.
March. This is March.
So
5th.
COVID is over, right? So Putin is in charge of the world now. He is the daily
This
cycle.
is the story.
He's the reason.
The
This is a
24/7
fictional story.
news cycle. So basically,
Russia.
we're rushing ahead.
Rushing ahead.
A Russian ahead.
We're talking about
Yeah.
rushing, not Russia.
Are we rushing or are we dragging?
Enunciate.
Are we rushing or are we dragging? That is the best.
Well,
thing I've
sometimes
ever
when I'm going to the
heard.
bathroom, I'm
Give me some
Russian, but
credit.
when I get there, I'm European.
European.
Tina, how do you do it? How do you do it?
Russian,
How do you not
Russia-
be yourself all the time? Like,
Are you Russian or are you dragon? Because Russia is Russia and dragon is China. See, I'm being
Misha.
funny. I have to explain it. So it's
Oh.
funny.
Andra, very nice. Nice.
Damn.
Thank
Got
you
it.
for understanding my joke. Okay, so anyway, in LA last week, they let the vaxxed people go first and take off their masks if they wanted to. They didn't really. So they're like, okay, well, I guess we'll let the CDC take over. They said like 70-something% at the very beginning were able to take off their masks across the nation because of the data, which was outdated in LA specifically. So they were like, oh, oops, we're not in the high tier anymore. We're actually closer to low. So we're going to take off the masks on Friday. So the other day, the masks were taken off, like, well, not really taken off because I'll say, but we're not required in indoor places. And also they went ahead and did away with the verification is what they're calling it now. The vaccine verification. They changed the names all the time, but that's what they call it for the nightclubs and the lounges and the bars. So that's first.
Word
So
magic.
first they're going to get rid of that. And now they're going to soon end, according to this article, the one for restaurants, bars, gyms, and movie theaters. But they say that it's because the science, everything's great now, so they don't have to worry about it. But it's because it didn't work, really.
Yeah, they lost.
so they said they're.
They have
they're-
to
So they
admit
press the panic button, and the panic button is Nazis war, Nazis war.
This bitch, by the way, Nuri Martinez, is the one who put up the whole proposal for the vaccine mandates in the first place in LA City Council. And then all these idiots fell in line, including someone who was supposed to be a socialist, so fuck her. But I don't remember even her name. She's not even worth mentioning. But I did vote for her, so it was even more of a piss on me. Piss on me right there, because she was supposed to help the homeless people, which I don't know. I've seen a whole bunch lately and gave them some food today, and they're not doing so swell. So that didn't really happen. So that's all I'm
Elle
saying.
gave
Anything.
cupcakes. She gave cupcakes to people.
To a very nice man who with one sock on, and was
well, why
just
didn't you
living
bring him a
outside.
sock then, Elle? Why? There's always.
I don't
a
have any
missing
male
sock.
socks for him. I apologize.
Well, I
can
bet you
take
I
the
can find a
fucking
pile of mismatched
cupcake
socks.
wrappers, and you can make a sock out of that. But I know why his sock was missing.
Oh God.
Probably.
I just got that.
No, there's actually two reasons why. There's two reasons why it would be missing.
Circle back.
Either he ran out of TP or he was
Mhm.
looking for a cotton.
Oh, I'm over here thinking he was.
I thought that too.
Yeah. We're in a totally
Right.
different spot than you,
I'm a dirty
Shadowbanned.
motherfucker.
Are we talking about egg? Are we talking about egg again? Is this the
Egg on our face.
I'll give you four good reasons why you have to listen to me.
No, but seriously, like, gave him some water. I have a bunch of water that I got from a store that I'm not going to promote because that's weird. But I did order it with my food stamps, like, Alex Trainer, the video that we saw the other day. So I had been doing that before that, but I just didn't like announce it. So I'm kind of announcing it. But like, I help when I can because the government ain't fucking helping and it's their money. So I'm like, all right, well, let's give it to other people, as many people as possible. So I gave him some mixed deluxe nuts, not just nuts, deluxe.
Deluxe nuts.
So he got
Deluxe
pistachios, he
nut
got
in one
macadamia
sock.
nuts, all the good shit. Cashews,
well, Elle.
plenty. No peanuts, because fuck them. And because we always have too many. I don't know if I'm speaking for everyone, but I think there are always
Shout
too
out
many.
Big Peanut.
There's always too
What
many
did Sleepy
peanuts.
Josh ever do to you?
But in this one, almonds are the culprit because there are too
You're
many
next,
of those.
planters.
So I will say that they switched it.
Why do you hate almonds? What did almonds do?
I'm just saying I
What
don't
did all
want
man
all
nuts ever do to
almonds.
you?
Do cashews
I don't want
next,
all almonds.
then Brazil
It's like
nuts.
when I used to do like Chex Mix and wouldn't have enough of the bread stuff. I used to love the
Sleepy
bread
Josh,
part.
Mr. Peanut.
And then they had everything else like pretzels. I'm like, I'm not here for pretzels. I'm here for Chex Mix. Anyway, we've gone off topic.
Shout
I'm
out
just saying.
Alex Trainer and Mr.
I'm the same way when I did eat this stuff.
Oh my god!
The crispy ones, like the wafer looking ones, I used to like eat those, and that'd be it.
Yeah.
You were the
So anyway, we have our thing. Barbara Ferrer looks like the Crypt Keeper. That's what her name is to the people in my crew. And then on Twitter. And she's the
Fair.
one in
Look over
charge.
here.
She's not a doctor. So
A
she
bat
gets to
lady.
tell everybody how to live.
Oh.
And now she might take away the vaccine verification, which is not even a thing that they just came up with today, apparently, because I've never heard that.
It was
that,
always a
phrase
verification.
before.
It is
Keep
now a
hearing-
verification. It was always a verification.
I keep hearing Helen Reddy singing.
Look at that 12 and up, though.
Verification. It's
Could you
making
imagine
me
seeing a child who's like 14 or 13 and being like, nope, you can't come in here? Like, I'm sure they're not actually
fuck
doing
you,
that.
kid.
Maybe in New York, but they're not doing that here, I don't think. It's a little more relaxed.
Yeah, fuck you, kid. You can go to the back and get something from the kitchen. You know, like
I'm surprised they're not at the point where they're like giving the
Yes,
shots
honey.
at the door to make sure people can come in. That it didn't get that far. Because I would not be surprised if they did that. Because they were doing that at like events and stuff, like sports events. They were having like vaccination sites and shit before the game.
Well,
They
Yeah,
better not do
okay,
fucking
Because
No.
that means that you've gotten it in your body. That doesn't mean you're like even it like okay. Oh my I we can't. Okay, we can't. I will.
Chili, is Snorky talking about his nuts? What's going on
Uh-oh.
in this chat?
There's nothing more organic than Snork's nuts, I'm sure. Or anyone's.
Well,
Oh my
Am I wrong?
Or for those three,
god! Al,
Science.
this
That's science.
it is
That's science.
follow the science, people.
free range, also known as commando.
Commando nuts.
Boom, got him.
Oh my god!
I was laughing
I'm
so
gonna die.
Zing!
Welcome to the wild card. There's your first wild card of the
But
evening.
we really
Don't
gotta like
expect the
look
sex
towards
joke from the
history
one
for
who
this
doesn't do
because if you look in right about 1914, the whole fucking world was fed the fuck up with the international cabal of fucking bankers and fucking masters of mankind, and they were about to overthrow the motherfuckers. And then what happened
Big
in
war.
1914?
Central
That's
Bank,
what they
Jekyll
do
Island,
every time. That's
and
their default.
two things everyone should look at that are really great if you haven't seen it. Century of Enslavement is a great documentary on
Yes.
the Federal Reserve
gonna
System
put
by
it in.
Corbett. Yeah, thanks, Elle. That's one of my favorite documentaries because it goes into the entire thing. You know how Corbett sources everything. The other thing is check out Truth Stream Media. They're on
Yes.
YouTube. They are amazing. It's a wife and husband couple. They do amazing work. They've been doing great coverage. They've got a 3-part series out. The third part goes into that shadow. The 2 parts bring you up from the Revolutionary War to
We're getting
actually
echo.
Quack Nobles,
Wow.
all the way up.
That's bitching.
We're getting echo.
Good links,
Yeah.
people.
We're getting
I
echo.
think it was Jack.
Echo?
You, Jack, you're echo.
Yeah, Jack's got a little echo.
I've got a mute.
Let's see.
Huh?
Now it's going.
Now we don't have an echo.
No echo.
How
I'm
about now?
hiding it. There it
Yeah.
goes.
Now you do.
No, you guys are good.
Okay.
I'm
Elle,
bad.
you try.
How
Is it
about
me?
no?
am
Now
I
you're
doing?
not echoing.
Huh?
Yeah.
Now I
That
don't
was
hear
weird.
it. That was weird. We had echo for a minute.
That was the CIA in the background.
Yes, it was definitely.
They like to listen in. They get bored on a Sunday. They
So,
like the wild card
here's-
Sundays. They like the
Here's
beards.
a weird part for me to fucking side with like my arch nemesis, Vladimir fucking Lenin.
I thought you were going to say Putin.
Why the fuck
We're
are we
perverts.
taking sides in the capitalist war?
Exactly.
And that goes back to, if you remember, it was the Democratic Socialists that took Germany to war, because there was supposed to be a promise after World War I that they would never let the working class be brought into war, and that this is the group that pushed for reforms in the system of murder. Yep. Just say it. The parallels.
The parallels are
Remember-
fucking striking, because what was the fucking one of the main fucking lines? One of the main lines of the propaganda in the war effort, and why the Second International fell apart, was, yeah, we got it bad, but you know, those fucking Ruskies, they're fucking savages. They're fucking Asian savages. They're the Asian golden horde coming to take over civilized Western society.
Get them. That's what they did. Fall
Don't you
every
remember-
time, man? It's like,
Remember when it was called
when
the
people
war to
become
end all
aware and
wars?
angry enough, then there's another war.
Remember when it was the war to end all wars? Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that was a great phrase that did not ring true at all.
It
Well,
didn't.
and look at all. Look at the
War is
Byzantine
never the
Empire. Look at the Roman
in this
Empire.
article, by the way, sorry to interrupt, but McArdle is Angela McArdle. Shout out to her. She's a friend of mine. She's a libertarian chair in LA, and she's actually working. So it says in this article, up, go
Wait,
up.
she's a sentient chair?
She says it says here that she's trying to make it so that they can't do this again, because we don't want to have them able to do this shit again with the masks and the vaxes. So it's that precedent that's really something important that we need to get rid of. And so she's working on that with her group. So that's really important. Medical Freedom, I think, is the name of the group. So
Oh,
I just want
yeah,
to
that's
shout out to
cool.
her. And
Medical
what she's
freedom.
She's in LA Times. Look at her. So cool.
Snorky, did you bring enough first class airline nuts for everyone?
I know. That's what I want to know. Like,
Jack, you were saying something. No, wanted to hear what you said.
Oh, so like when you look at what we're seeing now, it's
No,
the
she
same thing
didn't.
that happened in
No, she
Rome
didn't.
with oh, she did. With coin clipping. So like in Rome, they would essentially clip the coins. So people started noticing that. The difference is now there's no coins to be physically clipped. It's all digital. The Fed just puts in numbers, and that's where they get the money. So the coin clipping, the dilution of just money in general, is being done on such a large scale over many generations. And what was it, like 60% of the M1 or M2 money supplies, just meaning the amount of currency, has been printed within like the last 2 years?
Yes. Not 60, but 80.
80. So I was undershooting. Yeah, that's insane.
Yep. This is the new paradigm, my guy. Like, we opened the door in 2000. Well, we opened Pandora's box, really, in the 70s when we came off the gold standard, right? And then we just fucking jumped off a cliff in 2008 with fucking Barney Frank and Chris Dodd-Frank, with Dodd-Frank and the QE and everything else. We just jumped off the cliff. Now it's all a zombie. It's all already dead. And we're convinced that it's still like working, and it's all controlled demolition. I mean, to circle back to Pluto, they're fully aware of the implications of the Pluto return, and they're using it to their advantage because that's the kind of sick dark magic that they do.
Yeah. That stands to reason. I think that fucking totally tracks. Like, if there's a way to be able to anticipate, you know, crazy market shifts and fucking whatever and just capitalize on shit, absolutely.
And there is. It's called being a monopoly capitalist.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You can make the fucking shorts. You can make a short squeeze happen. You can make a long squeeze happen if you have enough vested and liquid capital both, which every fucking major financial institution has, because they were deemed too big to fail, right? So if they have enough liquid capital, they can fucking squeeze the short when the fucking price drops and everyone's in on a short. they can fucking buy up all the stock on the table, shoot the price up, and they just fucking made money on they made money twice, right?
On both
But
ends,
in the reverse, and they have a bunch of vested stock already, and the price is going up, and everyone's long. Then they fucking they cut everything and sell it and dump it on the fucking open market, and they just fucking and they were already invested in a short, and they squeeze everyone's fucking longs out and they monopolize more money. This is monopoly capital. This is fictitious capital in action.
Yeah. And the metaverse is just like an extension, and digital IDs and all that is just an extension of fictitious capital. They just needed to literally invent more imaginary ways to spend money and create like fake value.
No, isn't that basically what the NFTs are then also?
Yeah. But more so it's that
right?
we need to keep this in mind. It's the action that the FCC took during all that. You guys remember the GameStop, right? That whole thing. What's really important is that what Shadow just said is critical, because we can't make a phone call to Yellen of the SEC to shut down trading in one direction so that people can get out of their short squeeze positions.
Yeah.
He's actually Treasury Secretary now.
Yep. Yellen. Yeah.
Hey, remember when that dude was the Treasury Secretary for a long time, and he like produced movies beforehand? Steve Mnuchin, I think is his name.
Guy.
Remember that guy? That was
I remember
fun.
that guy.
We love that guy.
That dude was
Shout
a
out to that
fucking
guy.
criminal.
That dude
really spend the rest of his life in fucking 23-hour lockdown fucking prison, like real prison.
Steve Mnuchin is the feller that Camanilla fucking let off, right? I mean, I think
he should just be forced.
Oh, he donated
to
to Kamala Harris's campaign.
The people whose homes he took.
Yeah, and
he
is in coincide with Kamala Harris, and then she coincides with the prison system and the schools, and and all. That's the thing. The reason why we can circularly talk about everything is because it's all connected.
Yeah,
and we also like to
you just have a way to tie it all together to show you, we can talk about fucking nuts from a goddamn airplane, ventilators, and
the World Economic Forum.
Yeah,
like we all
and
have
he
ADHD
produced many of our favorite
what
films.
did she say?
I said I feel
was
like
that?
we all have ADHD or something. It's like
Yeah.
a panel of neurodivergence.
Well said.
Well, I was
That's
saying
what
that
we
like,
have. And then Elle somehow keeps us on track, though. She's like,
No.
no, I know exactly where we were going.
I don't know. Nobody knows where we're going, but we'll know where we.
She's like, I don't
That was
want
like fucking Moses or some shit, eh?
She's like, I'm not the adult in the room.
I'm literally Pelosi, but okay. I am the adult in every room. Okay. So speaking of which, Steve Mnuchin's IMDb, I just shared it, and he directed. He executive produced. That's the word I'm looking for. Many of our favorite films, like the Lego Movie, and the Batman Lego Movie, and the other movie.
Really?
Stevie M had
And
his
Suicide Squad. That was a real hit for him.
Oh,
And Mad
shit.
Max Fury Road, and Wonder Woman, and Edge of Tomorrow. I could go on and
That
on,
makes me
but I won't.
hate him so much more because I like.
But he stopped in 2017, so it's okay.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of Wonder Woman, I'd really like to pick a bone with Warner Brothers and
know.
DC Comics.
I feel the same.
I was spending a lot of the day looking up the history of the Scythian people, the mythical Amazons. They were fucking people of the Asian steppe. They were not fucking white-skinned, blonde-haired, blue-eyed Greek fucking people. They were diametrically opposed to that. They were red-haired with gray eyes. They were from Iran. They were the people of the steppe. So stop whitewashing history, you fucks.
And
Iranian
they're not going to
gingers.
do it until we make them. So
yeah,
Well, that's the problem, right?
or we stop contributing into that society.
It's just
we have the power. There are more of us than there are them.
we are
They
content
are a
creators.
minority.
Yeah, but we're too busy killing each other.
Well, yeah.
That's why we need to stop.
Putin, you guys, because Putin. Flatty
But it's
daddy.
okay when they kill each other.
Daddy,
but
daddy.
you know, grandma, worry about grandma with the masks.
I ain't worried about it. She got an
And the
AK.
children.
She'll be
Think
fine.
of the children. Now let's think of the Nazis. As I
Think of
said
the
in my
children, think of the
podcast.
Nazis, think of the fucking this, think of the that, think of the fucking evil goddamn Ruskies. Oh no, it's the Huns, it's the fucking blah blah blah.
But they'll never cover Bandera and that fucking atrocious
She made
scum
me
fuck.
do it.
I did not make anyone do
Isn't
anything.
it kind of strange that Bandera was too fucking radical for even the fucking Nazis?
Yeah, he was
They're
too.
like,
he
whoa,
did shit
dude,
so
you
horrendous.
are
The SS told him to calm
crazy,
down.
man.
That's such a
Like-
punchable face.
It is. Can I give him a high five?
He looks like a penis that is only halfway sentient.
He looks like he would have an egg shaped.
And he only looks halfway sentient because
He's
of
a
the
little
glass.
flaccid, to be honest.
Sure.
Not really doing it for me.
Why does he have to
It
wear
was breaking
purple?
And every
it's
woman he's
really
dated.
good.
Why is he gonna wear my favorite color tie? Like he wears purple? No, he doesn't deserve to.
No,
do
that's
that.
like lilac. That ain't purple.
It's still in the purple family. He's still wearing purple. Like he doesn't.
Keep in mind that Amazon owns IMDb, just so you know. If you didn't know, now you know. Whatever. That's
Oh,
why I'm not
Wait,
on
Amazon
IMDb.
That
Pro.
looks like it
IMDb?
condescends everyone around it.
Yeah, they've owned it for a while.
That's
You can
sad.
see because you go down and it
But you
says
know what?
Prime,
At
Prime,
least
Prime.
Amazon Prime gave us fucking The Expanse. Come on now.
Word. Well, the
The
Expanse is
Expanse.
probably what it's going
There
to
are
be
good
like,
things
dude.
about
We're going to be
everything.
Baltics.
I
Jesus.
think Bezos was probably nutting himself reading that shit. Like, oh yeah, everyone's my slave in the future. Oh,
He's like, we get to send people to the asteroid belts. Fuck yeah, I'm on. Send me to Mars.
He's like, this is
I'm
Circle
gonna
back
start the
to
war
socks?
people.
Are we circling back to socks again?
great.
Y'all remember the Lego movie though? Like what it was about? Isn't that
Vaguely.
funny that he like produced it and it was
What's
about
the
what it
Lego
was
movie about?
Whoa, why is it doing that again?
It was anti-corporate. LOL.
LOL.
Will Ferrell was in the first one.
Unironically.
The Lego Batman movie. Never saw that.
We're
Rules
going to do
don't
an
apply.
anti-corporate
That's
movie. Give
definitely
me some
Steve
Hollywood
Mnuchin.
stars.
Storks.
Oh, it doesn't
The
say stork.
Accountant?
though.
Suicide
Wasn't that
Squad.
about-
That was a real winner.
The Midnight Man.
That's when he
Soldier.
started
Friggin'
to question
blockbuster, right?
Legend of Tarzan. Wasn't
Wait,
that with
he was
Tarzan?
part of all
Conjuring
of this?
Keanu. That was a good movie though. I'm
Wait,
not
Keanu-
gonna lie.
I
the
did
movie?
not know that.
Keanu is from the
Batman
Key and Peele
versus
guy.
Superman? Dawn of Justice.
Yeah, he either produced
Our
or
brand is
directly produced
Crisis.
all
That's
of
an
that.
interesting movie that's based on a documentary about Russia and the
About Russia.
intervention between
Of
U.S.
course,
and
American Time.
the corporate elite.
Better than
Click on that one
China.
to see what it's about.
Annabelle.
Our brand is Crisis. It was based on a documentary that'll be in there.
Where is it?
Up.
It's up ahead, 2016. Closer to 2016. So it's, executive producer, Our Brand is Crisis, after The Intern, which was another
After The
winner.
Intern.
Before Black Mass.
Right here?
There it is, yeah.
Black Mass.
After Black Mass. Pan, that was a hit. All right, go down. I'm going to show you the documentary. Don't worry. Sandra Bullock really killed in that. Keep going down until you get to the
Sandy
writer
B.
and the director.
Elle knows all this shit about film. I know jack
Okay,
shit.
go to Rachel Boynton. That's the one who made the documentary. Click on that.
Suggested by the documentary.
The same dude who directed this directed Pineapple Express. Make it make sense. But anyways, they all just dabble, don't they? So go down.
Big man.
Our brand is Crisis right there, 2005. That's what it's based on. It's literally called the same thing as the documentary. Click on that.
Wow.
This is going somewhere.
Elle
and then read the,
Elle is
the
fucking
plot.
weaving a tangling web here. It's intriguing.
This
as
is
fuck.
important.
Important.
There's also a really good documentary called Spin that you guys should check out if you haven't, from the 90s.
Is that fucking crazy fucking Democrat dude that's always
Yes,
saying to bomb
that is
everyone?
exactly- you can play the trailer. That's even better, actually, to understand
Okay, we're gonna play it.
what I'm talking about. I've watched this documentary. I recommend watching the documentary, not the stupid movie based on it.
Coke Lorber. political feeling.
In 2002, Gonzalo Sanchez de Lozada ran for president of Bolivia. He hired America's
This wasn't
best
Russia,
political
this is Israel,
consultants
but
to
it's
bring
the
his
same thing.
message to the people.
We don't have to change the way people perceive the country and the economy. What we have to change is what is at stake in the election.
They work all over the world, marketing candidates and branding campaigns.
Set up the Bolivian nation at a point of crisis. We're at a crossroads. They're in master conflict. This country could literally fall apart. It could get even worse. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to. That's the choice we have.
We must own crisis and we must brand crisis. And I think we should make a commitment. We should bet the house on the message.
I'm starting to feel like those films where you have a guy who slaps hysterical women in the lifeboat.
I don't have any doubt now, and I didn't have any doubt during the election, it's why we went to work for him, that this guy had the best formula for helping this country rise out of dire poverty.
Aquí está muerto.
As you know, we're a slave to strategy.
So yeah, that's what they do in like every country, pretty much. Is
They fucking
interfere
have a
and do
documentary
regime
about what they do?
changes.
Brought to you by Empire.
Yes. So same shit
God.
they're doing. They did in Ukraine and Russia. They're doing all over the world, and nobody seems to give a shit. And it's only a big deal if our elections are interfered with by other outside parties. It's not a big deal when the U.S. gets involved in so many things.
Where can we watch it?
I watched it on YouTube, like free, but I don't know if it's still
James
on there.
Carville, that's his name. That fucking
Yeah,
psychopath.
James Carville.
Oh,
That guy.
He's the
Yeah,
devil.
Carville's a fucking
And Tad
nut.
Divine, you'll see him later in the Bernie campaign. Don't worry. They come back.
I mean, I think
I remember Carville from Clinton campaign. The first go.
Evil
They
Morales.
always come back.
I'm at a fucking loss.
Even
for
Oliver
words.
North came back, remember? Oh my gosh, that was the best.
We have something that people can actually digest, and we can just say, like, "Hey, look, you know," and people would still call it a conspiracy theory, a documentary.
Yeah, because it's definitely a conspiracy theory.
I got a Spanish version.
Probably
know
in
if it
fucking.
It was featured in the
Native
Spirit
Bolivian
Awards in
tongues, huh?
2006. See this? Right here. How to remake the image of an once unpopular president who is now a candidate on how to market him, sell him to voters in the base. Oh my God. And is the basis
They're
of the
doing it to us.
documentary.
Yeah.
Are you fucking?
How to get your cuck?
And they're helping elect President Bill Clinton not once but twice.
Oh yeah.
Seems to be a novel idea.
What the fuck?
We live in a fucking cartoon.
How many times Carville been
It's
on
not
the
even a
fucking-
cartoon. We live in a documentary, okay? We live in a fucking documentary.
An animated
They made it.
documentary.
We live in the fucking documentary.
It's a documentary of a cartoon.
We live in the fucking documentary.
And they made it into a movie. That's with Sandra fucking Bullock. Like, come
Turned it
on.
into a movie of the week. Yeah.
Is she part of the WEF too?
It didn't even like do well at the box office either. I found the documentary and shared it.
I mean, look at Demolition Man, man. When are we gonna see those seashells showing up?
I was wondering if you would like to have sex. If I could put on the VR shit and fucking like
vivid
Yeah.
detail about the experience in this
Ew,
wonderful
fluid transfer? That's so
documentary.
gross.
Like they even sell this, like it's like, you know, it's a wonderful fucking experience.
It's so beautiful, this film. Like
In this wonderful documentary.
it's really it's how the sausage is made by the sausage.
We live in robot chicken.
Oh my God.
We
Like,
live in
it
robot
literally
chicken.
says it. The idea of importing a team of American image consultants to have been notorious in the United States for their prior help President Bill Clinton not once but twice seems to be a novel idea for politics in South America.
Jimmy
It
Carville.
fucking says it. They fucking tell us.
This boyo right here, Slick Willie, he's got a problem keeping his pee-pee in his pants, but we're going to make him president. Not once.
Okay, I got another one for you.
Okay, I have to say something. I have to say something about that whole thing, though, with the whole Bill Clinton thing. All right.
Yeah.
It really bothers me when I hear people reference Monica Lewinsky as if she was not a victim of the most powerful man in the freaking world. Okay, what woman is going to, in their right mind, say no to the most powerful man in the world and expect, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, obviously you can say no, but women in that position, that is not an easy position. It's not a funny fucking situation that she was fucking put in, whether she did it willingly or not. That's the most powerful fucking man. That is the culture of workplace fucking sexual harassment, and on the largest scale, on the most, you know what I mean, the most like, what the fuck? It's not her fault. She is not the one who fucking should be like, you know, like, she shouldn't be put down. Well, he's propped up as being the man. I just want to say that because I hear it a lot, and I hear comments like, oh, well, Monica Lewinsky, you know what? Fuck, man. She was a young fucking woman in her fucking 20s, and the most powerful man in the fucking world.
And it's going to follow her for the rest. It's followed her the rest of her life.
She's never going to. Everyone knows who she is because of that.
Yeah.
They bring that up more than they bring up the rape allegations. Like, they just sweep those under the rug.
Yes.
And just
Yeah, he didn't rape anyone, but he totally
this is all
didn't
he
rape
did.
this one chick,
This is
right?
the one thing he did, and that's it forever. Well, I got a documentary with him in it, and it's 1995 Spin, which is the other thing I put in the chat, and it's from his campaign. So there's like little clips of like off-screen moments in this documentary that are very telling about the political situation. And they have like a candidate in this movie that was like running during the Bill Clinton campaign, and he got totally snowed. Like, they didn't let him get any time, debates or anything on the stage, and nobody even knew who the fuck he was. But he's like in this movie, and then Bill's in the movie, and he's talking to Larry King. So if we could look at that clip from Larry King and Bill, it's very telling what's going on with the media in that clip. So I did share it in the private chat. It's the last thing I put. Spin.
The Spin one,
and I'll tell you where to start because it's illuminating, as they say.
That's not what I wanted to show.
So it's going to be 12:51 in the
What
in
the
the
hell
movie.
did this thing just do? That's not.
I do
what
not even know.
That's pretty cool.
It fractured out.
It's very meta. We're in the metaverse. This is how it is. That's the new metaverse.
These are the outer limits.
I used to watch that.
Dude, I love the outer limits.
Classic.
All right, what time do I bring it to?
12:51 for Larry and Bill.
Larry?
I recommend watching the whole thing. It's a whole documentary from 1995 about the campaign, just about the campaign and everything involved.
All right, and tell me what's our stop. You want to just tell me when to stop?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Okay, you tell me.
You'll know because the segment will end. But yeah.
Okay.
What I really, really want.
I want to.
No, hang on, I gotta turn it up.
The
city elevator. I still remember the day I became famous. Yeah. When your column in USA.
Spice Girls? What?
Okay, I gotta mute us.
Steve, if you want to be my lover first, you got to be my friend.
For the networks, making news meant making profits, as the candidates made nearly 100 talk show appearances.
All right, go ahead. Respond to Jack.
Tell Bill if he do that thing in New York, it'll be terrific. He's
Okay,
so good at
mute you again.
Yeah, yeah. One of the problems with staying on the bus too long is the two of you guys are so good on media.
Towards the end of the election, candidate appearances increased TV talk show ratings an average of 40%.
You know what you ought to do? You ought to come out on the bus trip with us one day. We could do a joint interview from the bus.
Larry King said the campaign ratings bonanza turned the election into a TV miniseries like Roots or The Thornbirds.
We're out of time. You can invite us on the bus.
Okay.
We have plumb run out of time. Thanks for coming, Al.
I'd like to invite you to come on the bus with us.
What?
1992 was probably an historic first, as a major network's advertising revenues from its political coverage made more money than it cost to report the campaign. For CNN, the election was a watershed, as the network received its highest ratings since the Gulf War.
But I want him to finish the thought here. That's the one break we have to hit live. It's an around the world break. Hard to believe we're being watched in 151 countries. It's scary. I'm in Israel. I'm at the Wailing Wall. True story. Israel. Never been there before. I'm there with my brother. I'm Jewish. It's my culture. Stand there as an old rabbi, davening. He's praying. Old, a religious Jewish man. He looks up at me and he says, "What's with Perot?" Swear to God, what's with Perot? In Israel. I love it. Crazy. Ted Turner changed the world. I'm a big fan of yours. Is he? He would serve you, Captain. I'm really surprised. He's ready. What's he got left in life to gain? After you're elected, think about it.
What the fuck?
That's no dope. That's for sure. Great guy to work with.
So to speak.
This is horrifying, by the way. This part.
What? Fuck.
He isn't real.
He's not.
What the fuck?
That's a fucking gorilla suit that that lizard is wearing.
So the aliens came, we just missed it.
It's like Brain Dead, that show.
I am your leader.
Amid continuing allegations of tabloid reports.
Where's no leader to take me to? I am yours.
Oh yeah, my 12-year affair with Bill Clinton, all the shit.
Campaigning across the South.
Tell them, Mike, everybody in America who's had problems in their marriage, you either wound up divorced or...
Shut up, Bill.
You ran shit for the.
What the actual fuck is happening?
dude.
Like, really?
Dog, this was like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
1995, Spin. So good. So good. You ought to watch Spin. They mention Hillary later, too.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Don't watch it on mushrooms.
You should see the Barbara Bush segment.
Tina comes in with the nice
I'm
mom.
already going into a
Don't
bad
do it
trip.
on
I'm
my-
not even on anything. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Hell creepy.
Do you want me to play more of that, or is that it?
Is that fair?
Let
You?
me see if there's a really good part that I want you to see. Hold on. I'm going to peruse.
Are we allowed?
Oh, yeah, this part. Okay, so the part with the guy, the guy I was talking about, I can't remember his name. That's how irrelevant he is. But this is illuminating as well. This part, 1649. 1649. You might see some familiar faces.
All right. Well.
Yeah.
I got 47.
Okay, that's good.
Democratic candidates.
Oh my God, the makeup.
Dude, he's putting his
Media
face
focused
back on.
4 of these candidates, but Larry Agron was a 5th candidate the press did not report on.
This is the guy
There's no makeup
I was
here?
talking about.
During the 1992 U.S. Conference of
There's
Mayors,
no
the
makeup
New York
here?
Times reported that, quote, dozens of mayors seem to agree on one thing. The single candidate who truly understands urban needs is Larry Agron, unquote.
They promised to bring this stuff over.
None of the networks mentioned Agron's presence at the convention.
I thought if I run over that super saver.
One of Agron's staff had to run over to the Super Saver and buy some makeup because the network had broken its promise to provide it. This was typical of the media's treatment of Agron. When he appeared at this Democratic Candidates Forum, This Associated Press photo simply cropped Agron out of the frame. During the New Hampshire primary, the TV news reported the polling numbers of the top 5 Democratic candidates: Brown, Clinton, Harkin, Kerry, and Tsongas. When Agron moved into a three-way tie with Harkin and Brown with 2% of the vote, most of the TV news didn't mention Agron. The day Bill Clinton captured what may have been the most valuable airtime of the entire election, as he spoke to 50 million viewers about his alleged affair, was the same day that a poll showed Agron's support at 4%. He had passed Brown and was the 5th leading candidate. When ABC's Sunday Evening News reported this poll, they simply deleted Agron entirely by not reporting his candidacy. During the New Hampshire primary, Agron's only live commercial TV appearance was through this satellite feed to ABC's Nightline. But the Nightline program wasn't directly about the election. When Agron complained to news executives about his lack of coverage, he was told he had not earned the right to media exposure because he had not received enough media exposure.
And on stage, the 5 major contenders for the Democratic presidential nomination.
Although Agron was on the ballot in nearly half the country, he was barred from most televised debates, including this one sponsored by the League of Women Voters. He couldn't meet one of the League's main criteria, which was, quote, recognition by the national media as a candidate meriting media attention, unquote.
Good evening and welcome to the Democratic presidential candidates debate on urban America.
Agron wanted to debate on urban America, calling for a 50% cut in defense spending and the reinvestment of some of that money into America's decaying cities.
We are going to be coming to you live from Lehman College, and you'll hear a bit of a disturbance in the background, but we'll go on with that in any case.
The disturbance is Larry Agron asking to be included in the debate so that he can explain his plans for defense cuts and urban revitalization.
Bronx Borough President Ferdinand Ferrer, and Mr. President, I suggest you wait for just a moment till the man is quieted or chooses to quiet down. All right.
Agron was quickly arrested. His court date fell on the first day of the Democratic National Convention.
During this campaign, but very little said about the problems facing America's cities. Tonight, we'll change all that.
Without media exposure and the debates, Agron couldn't quickly receive federal campaign funds, and his candidacy lost momentum.
You look all right on camera.
What's that?
You look all right. There's no hot spots.
Really? Okay. I usually got a mustache that shows through here. Why don't you go get some stuff, Mike? Oh, yeah. There we go. Campaign funds.
The Democratic Party refused to include Agron in the debates or speak to the networks on his behalf. Agron talked about his exclusion, saying, "I've challenged my own party for its continuing complicity in Cold War thinking, Cold War rhetoric, and Cold War budgets."
To restore order right now, there are 3,000 National Guardsmen on duty in the city of Los Angeles. Another 2,200 stand ready to provide immediate support.
That's about the end of that segment, yeah. I know. History repeats.
Dude, yeah. Kate said we should have a watch party. I think we should have a watch party.
So here we are with the
Seriously.
same positions 30 fucking years later, and we're still talking
gotta
about
watch it.
elections for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no way out.
How do
There's
people
no way
not learn these lessons? The fuck?
They
Well,
should show
we don't
this
know the
in
lesson.
every school. Honestly.
This should be required fucking programming in schools.
Right.
Yep.
All the presidents slip ups on fucking C-SPAN and all the little fucking sound bites.
Well, that's what we can do
Years of it.
if we have intentional communities. This is what we teach the children. This is what we teach them. We decide what is important and what they really need to learn.
Homeschool also is good.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's basically the same concept. I mean, with the
Yeah.
intentional community, with homeschool, you want to have your kids see other kids. Homeschool doesn't mean that they don't see other kids.
No.
It means that you're schooling outside of the public, schooling system, and you're doing your own education. I mean, shit. Oh my God.
That was rather horrifying. I kind of
Yeah.
want to find a paper bag to puke in now.
Sorry.
Oh.
I'm so
Like,
such a bummer today.
No,
No,
that's
apologize, dude.
important
Like,
though to
this
know. Like,
This is the way the world is. Like, there's nothing wrong with pointing out the way the world is.
I was just
fucking
like,
tell
we have to
people- I
watch
tell
this.
people that they vote for puppets that fucking pass legislation written by the fucking masters of mankind meant to enslave you. Like, that's pretty.
I wish I would have seen that before, like just long ago, because I mean, obviously can't vote your way out of that shit.
no.
It was eye opening for me.
How do
when I
you?
saw
Yeah.
it.
How do you? Like, let's see. Like, how are we gonna do this then, kids? How do we electorally get ourselves out of this? Here you fucking go. You know what I mean? Anybody who thinks that we can electorally get our way out of it, here.
Are you ready for a revolution?
This is why it was so easy to get Bernie. And even in this documentary, I learned that Jerry Brown was not a horrible fucking person that I thought he ended up being. But like back in the day, he was like the Bernie of the time.
No, he
So-
wasn't. He was California over Alice. California over Alice.
He was trying to do similar shit. He had similar ideas. And this guy was just like fucked by the system before it was known to be the case that would happen.
That's just
And
tremendous.
this was before, remember when Jill Stein got like arrested at a debate?
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
this is way before that. This dude had that happen first.
I remember thinking Ross Perot on the Clinton campaign there was going to be like, oh shit, or it was no,
Yep.
it was George Senior. Which year did he run? I can't remember now, but I'm kind of burnt. But it was funny because he seemed like a real rabble rouser. You know, he was an upstart. Can I finish? Can I finish?
I finally found it. The director, if you want to know, is Brian Springer. He did a great job.
Springer.
He is the director.
Did he get Hillary?
Huh? Well,
Did he get
I don't
Hillary?
think so. No, he
Yeah.
also did.
What an anomaly that is. Like, really? Yeah, like that many people around you. That's mathematically valid for some people, I guess.
I don't know if he's still working. His last thing was 2007, so he might be. I don't think he's deceased, though. I think he's just out of the business. Let me check and see if he's alive.
I actually got to head out as well.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
it was so good to have you guys on.
He is still alive, just so you guys know. Okay. Did a check.
Not a pretty one.
Tina, it was so good to meet you, like face to face this way.
Yeah.
The bird's gonna have a hissy fit, like right now. I don't know why.
Yeah, thanks you guys. Thanks
I'll
for
talk
hanging out.
more eventually. I'm sure.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I definitely think that you should come on and teach us all kinds of things about Pluto and astrology and
yeah,
like we could do just like a, just we could do pre-recorded, we can do it live, however you want. But I think that you have a lot of really good information that I want. Like I want to.
If you have me on your Discord, you can go to I have an astrology tarot channel, and I wrote stream
It's
of
amazing, you guys.
consciousness regurgitation of a bunch of shit, so you could read it there.
That's awesome.
Tina writes in prose. I don't write in the prose. Jack writes in the prose.
Bye.
Bye, guys. I love you.
Bye, guys.
Bye,
Good night,
Tina.
everyone.
Are you leaving too, Shadowbanned?
Yeah, I'm fucking tired, and I got work at fucking oh my god in the morning, and I gotta be a good example and show up early and all that.
Hey, rub your knuckles together for burn pits. We love you.
And Afghanistan and Iraq.
We have like ASMR, like hand rubbing thing. Like
Good evening.
Nancy's ASMR.
Sunday evening.
I really do like ASMR though, like legit. Only certain kinds.
You guys have a lovely evening.
Love
See
you,
later.
brother.
Do the same. We'll talk to you soon.
I had to go shut the bird.
Shut it.
Got to shut the bird off. I told you the
The
bird.
bird is
wasn't
telling
real."
us to end.
Yes, he's like, all right, that's enough, you guys.
We're hitting 2.5 hours. Let's wrap it up, they say.
Executively produced by a bird and a
Pelosi's
dog.
in. Well, while she's doing that, I can do some ASMR.
Oh, you had to bring the bird out.
How's everyone doing?
There's the bird. Yeah, thanks.
Oh,
for
did
hanging out
Jack
with
go
us.
too?
Chat, folks. Yes.
There.
Jack did go.
There we go. Birds are real. Here's his ass. You happy now?
Peaches.
That's so cute.
Peaches is real. He's real.
He
I know.
is.
I'm not
cool.
wearing a good shirt. There, that better?
He's like, oh, that's better. He was
Nice.
walking like a maniac.
Take that, birds aren't real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just send them this video. I'm gonna spam their Twitter with this video.
Peaches
Yeah.
is real.
Peaches is hashtag Peaches is real.
Are you real? Are you real? Are you real loud?
Yes. Yes, you are correct, sir. Very
That
loud.
was really cool. That was really cool. That was a really good stream.
Yeah, I love those people.
Yeah.
Collectively, there's
Had
so
fun.
many
Love you, Jack.
awesome
Jack.
awesome fams.
Jack is back
Oh, Jack is back.
Jack is back.
in the chat.
Jack
Jack
in
is
the
back
chat.
in the chat. I said
Circle
bat.
back. Circle
He's a
back.
bat.
Circle back to the chat with Jack.
It's like a bat out of hell.
What do you think? You want to say hi to Jack? You got anything to tell him? Kate said that she was trying to look for the video, record a message that was removed.
Well, let me share it again because I do have it, like legit, like
Hmm.
from Love the Law of One, whoever that is. But thank you for it. So I'll put that back in the chat.
Is that
yeah,
the?
maybe one of those links is just funky.
Is this the?
I put it in the chat.
Is this?
Thanks for joining us, Jack.
What is
You
this?
meant spin, right?
This is the
Or
other
it could
one.
be something else, right?
This
Kate,
is something,
was it something else?
Spanish.
Sorry.
Spin in Spanish.
No.
Oh, in Spanish? Oh, yeah. That one. Yeah. Where's that?
I had
My
that.
reference.
That was a link that you put in there. I was looking for. I put the other one up there, I believe. What are you doing?
Hold on.
Don't be weird. Oh, that was that was.
It was in Spanish, but it's actually in English as well. It's confusing, but it's one of those uploads where they put it in as Spanish in the title, but then you watch it. And
Oh,
a lot of it's in English, and it's just Spanish subtitles. I explained that before.
Okay. Well, I wasn't playing it. I was just looking at it, and so maybe.
Oh yeah.
This one.
I'll
here.
share it again.
We recorded it, Charlie Brown, so you can go back and watch it after when you wanna. Yeah, thanks so
Okay, you
much
got
for
it.
joining us, Jack. Always wicked fun, man.
I was so bad about being checking the chat, guys. So sorry, chat fam. I didn't see all your chats. It's sometimes it's hard. It's hard to multitask and pay attention to what people are saying in the chat and listen. And I'm the one, putting comments on the screen and putting the videos up. So like I'm trying to do it all and pay attention and not like, be like, oh, huh? So it did. I don't see every comment sometimes. I try.
What the fuck? Kate's like, I tried again and received this message. This video isn't available.
Go to home.
Go to
Rude.
home. Very.
That's so rude.
A little presumptuous of you.
What does it tell you?
What does that mean? Is it? It might
go
be
to home now.
restricted. because I'm in Thailand right now, allegedly, but on my VPN, so it might
Yeah,
be.
but it showed up on mine.
Oh, okay, good.
Right? I
what
mean,
the
I
issue
played
would
it.
be.
I played it. Are you talking about this one right here?
No, I'm talking about I Brandis Crisis. I think that's what they're talking about. The Spanish one? Is that the... See, I don't know which one you're talking about, Kate. Be specific.
Is it this one?
Is it the Brandis Crisis one? Es un mensaje a tu conciencia. Este documental demuestra cómo...
I don't know what you're saying.
I was reading it.
I'm like, oh gosh, I don't know what she said. She was saying anything, guys. If she makes something blow up, it's not my fault.
What? No. Bajo la alfombra is the uploader of that.
Oh, you're asking.
So shout out to them. Chat gang. Chat's where it's at.
Chat is where it's at.
Where it's at is where the chat is. Have a great night, Jack.
Oh, I said birds are real, but Australia isn't.
Controversial statement, but
that is a
untrue?
controversial statement because this bird is
know.
a silver-crested cockatoo, and he's supposed to be from Australia. So
that's awkward.
Yeah, I don't.
Australia was just an island off the coast of Texas.
Where it's at. Come to the changes in my phone.
That's good.
Yeah, we do kind of have a zoo here, Kyle. Birds are real. Well, yeah. Peaches is
another one.
Peaches is a pterodactyl in real life.
Oh.
That's how he
Identity crisis.
that's how he identifies. You can't be
okay.
loud. If you start screaming, you can't be on
He
you can't be on
identifies
screen.
as a
No screaming on the stream.
Yeah, no screaming.
as a 16 million years ago pterodactyl bird.
This is not the best sweater for me to be wearing to hold him because like his nails are sharp. I need to trim his nails.
I can't imagine.
He likes to preen my hair.
That's sweet.
Oh yeah, you
Okay.
can't be you can't be loud though. Okay, you gotta be quiet.
That is not good ASMR.
No.
That's very close to the moose ASMR. Not good.
Oh my god, I know. Shadowbanned had moose. Wait. What are we just? What is it called? Stop. Ow!
Me?
Don't. That was rough. That was not a nice kiss. That was a very aggressive kiss.
Damn.
Baby. Okay. Okay. He's saying baby. I'm gonna bring him back in the other room. I'll be right back.
Oz, you're so funny. More than an allegation. No more than an allegation. Australia.
It's an island off the coast of Texas.
Are you laughing at me?
No, I was laughing because.
Thank you for listening to the show.
You're doing ASMR, and I'm like, you're loud.
Yes. I got awkward, so I did some ASMR quickly. I actually 100% recorded an ASMR video, like a recording for myself on my phone as a note.
Really?
And then actually used it to go to sleep. But then I kept judging myself while I was doing it with my story because I was like improvising the ASMR. And I was like, I don't know if I believe this scenario, but okay.
Oh my gosh, you're so funny. You judge your own ASMR.
I'm my own worst critic. Yeah. I once did one where I was making a sandwich in the toaster. So it was very food oriented.
Really?
Food preparation ASMR.
That is kink specific.
Okay. Thanks for joining us. We love you. I won't do mouth sounds though. I don't go that far.
What mouth sounds? Like people make sounds with their mouth. Like,
yes, like when you eat something. I would never eat for ASMR. I would never eat something. I get self-conscious about it on the streams when I'm eating, and I'm like, oh, I hope no one can hear me chewing. I don't want to do that.
what?
I don't want to hear other people.
You know how we're gonna like identify each other when we're like old people, and we're like, you know, no matter what the situation is, dystopian or not, we're gonna be like, you know what our secret code is?
Yeah.
You're gonna see this, and you're gonna know. That's one of those lucky burrito-tonians.
Yeah, I get it. That's called something. There's a word for it, for a disorder where you hate mouth sounds. It's called something.
Yes, I don't like mouth sounds.
Oh, you know what the worst are? Like pickles. Like somebody eating a pickle. Get the fuck out of my face. No, wait. Ramen is really bad too. Pasta in general. I don't want to hear you eat pasta. Sorry.
I had an ex that would slurp everything he drank. Drove me insane. Like literally, like oh, it was so gross. Ew, I'm so sorry I made that noise even explaining it.
And mukbang. What the fuck? Why? Why would you want to watch people eat chicken and like unhealthy stuff and like sea urchins and shit? Like no.
Sea urchins.
They do. They eat
Ew.
those too. It's gross. No judgment, but like ew.
Not my
No,
thing.
thank you.
Oh, that's fucking gross. No judgment, but that's fucking hideous.
Well, I mean,
It's gross to watch people eat unhealthy, and you're not looking at them as people at that point. You're just seeing it as entertainment. But that's a real person getting fat for you, or not getting fat for you, but probably puking it up later. You know, just put yourself in that position. Would you want
it's having a
to do that?
negative like it's having a negative all around, you know, effect. Like because not everyone even looks at that and says, oh well, that's unhealthy either. You know what I mean? Like it's in so many ways. You're patronizing a company that's not healthy. Like I see a lot of these like reactionary oh my god, bird. Fuck. I see a lot of these like kids that do like shows and they're reactionary and they do things like that, and I'm like, and now they just ruined that. They just ruined that whole thing that they're using just for a video. Like they're wasting food. They're wasting like you know what I mean? Like it just to me, yeah. Oh my
Where
God.
do you draw the line? You know.
I love it when people do that bit though, where like they totally judge you and then say no judgment. I'm not you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, and people. I'm just saying. Dom Irera, he's the guy who fucking did that shit. Funny.
Yeah. I meant it as a joke, of course, but like.
Of course.
Still, there's a song called No Judgment, which is hilarious, and it's mainstream as fuck, but like it's hilarious, I have to say.
Nice.
It's one of the Directioners, so it's.
Oh hell yeah!
Manufactured. Like
Made
7 people probably wrote it.
Made in that weird cave. It's just like a strange old guy in a EAW.
Let me see how many people wrote it, because I always like to see how many people write songs that I listen to judge them, apparently. So, it was written by, all right, not too bad, I guess, for pop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people.
Wow.
Just 5 people. That's not too bad. Some rap songs are like, mainstream ones are like 7 people.
That's amazing to me. Like most of the songs that I know by heart are all like written by the same dude or gal who sang it in the first place.
I really value that, honestly.
One or two people.
Care. Yeah, Old Boy. I was just thinking about Old Boy, actually, Aaron. That he had to do that. And he didn't want to do it, but he money. So he ate the squid. I mean, the squid, the octopus on camera.
Yes, that was really bad. I remember seeing that.
Horrifying. But at least, okay, I guess the only thing is like he honored it at least, but still, it's sad. It's sad when any of that happens on camera because it's for profit and it's not for, sustenance.
Right.
Yeah, that's awful. And to see an animal like literally suffering, like I don't want to be fucking eaten. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Anything, put to death on
I don't wanna-
film for
yeah.
the sake of fucking film is gross.
Yeah, because you can't look at one thing as, that's bad, like Cannibal Holocaust, for example, and then look at Old Boy and be like, oh, that's okay, that's art. It's all art if you want to differentiate it that way. Like, they're the same thing. It's the same fucking thing. It's for profit. It's not for, or for exploitation in the case of Cannibal Holocaust. But it's not for the animal to sustain this person and give them food,
right?
Which is what it's supposed to be for, to eat animals. Am I wrong? Like that's what you're supposed to do.
Sustenance, I think, is
so you don't
generally
die.
the goal. Sure, sustenance is generally the goal and the reasoning behind eating high protein things like animals in the first place.
So I just don't differentiate that way. I don't see it differently versus one thing versus another thing.
Charlie Brown says he's been sitting on a gold mine. Farting in jars. Oh my gosh.
Such a niche market. Farting in jars is like totally niche market.
Yeah. All right. Let's not.
I'm just saying.
Where do you draw the line there? Is there going to be poop? Is there going to be pooping in jars next? Like, where does it end?
I don't know if I want to talk about that right now.
I'm just saying, like, there's got to be an end goal here, and I don't want to know what it is.
I don't know if I want to know what the end goal is.
Like, you could just keep doing all kinds of stupid shit on camera. And then also for money.
Yeah, that goes to the that speaks to the Mr. Wilson's fuck all content, where it's just fuck all, whatever the fuck, and it doesn't really matter. It's still all content. So
yeah,
it's true. And I
no
guess
matter what, it's content. You're making content. If you're live, you're making content. It doesn't matter if it's a blank screen, you're still making content.
Ideally, also,
it's
if you're
like, you can't undo it. Like, you can't be like, I'm not making it. You are. You're doing it.
If you're farting in jars, you always run the risk. You could get more than you bargained for, and probably.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I'm saying. Like, if she accidentally
can we not talk about that like right now?
Okay,
Steve gave me a freaking baked potato. And it's sitting in front of me, and he's bringing this shit up.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, like, can we not?
I didn't know. I'm sorry.
No, he did it. He did it.
I didn't know it was a no.
I'm gonna smack you.
Oh man!
And it won't be your fault.
I used to eat baked potatoes as a child. My father would make baked potatoes for everyone, and also like for some reason spam and pork.
For some
because we want variety, right?
Yeah.
Pork chops.
You need swine variety.
All right.
How do you call that?
I would always put cheese on the potato to make it taste better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's cheese on there.
Yep. We are.
We did mayonnaise and banana sandwiches as well. That was a southern
mayonnaise
thing
and bananas. Huh? I've seen that before, but I've never been brave enough. I like peanut butter and banana. That's good with me.
That's a popular one, but mayonnaise also works when you pour.
Sure.
That's what we would do.
When my little brother would come home from school when he was like 8 or something, he'd be like, "Yeah, I'm hungry. I'm gonna have a sickening sandwich," and he'd go get like 2 pieces of fucking white bread and the ketchup and the mustard and the mayonnaise and make himself a sickening sandwich.
Oh gosh.
every day after school, he'd be like, "Oh, I'm hungry." I'm like, "What are you gonna have?"
And he
Sickening sandwich, because he was eating them and making them since he was like, barely old enough to say sickening sandwich. That's why it was the sickening sandwich, because it was like his baby speak. Yeah. That's my beloved brother David. Shout out David.
Shout out David.
Shout out.
Shout out Shannon, my beloved sister. Also.
Shout out to my 5th grade teacher, Mr. Stovall. I don't know, random.
Yeah, no, that is random. I'd like to shout out my 6th grade teacher, Mr. Newberry.
I had a teacher.
Best mustache in the business.
Oh my God.
Sam Shepard style.
Okay.
I'm not even kidding.
Hang on. Hang on. I got to tell you a story about middle school math teacher. His name was Mr. Weiland. And
shout out Scott Weiland.
Okay. Stop. No, you stop. You had your shout out. You shush. So Mr. Weiland didn't like me very much as a student. I don't know why. I would eat my lunch in math class. Because I was too busy to stop and eat lunch during lunch, so I would eat in there. But okay, so Mr. Weiland one day, he was teaching class, and I swear to this day, it was not me, because it really wasn't me. Like, I would tell you now that it was me if it was me, but something fell from the ceiling area. It was like a screw or something. I think it rattled literally out of one of the freaking hanging down lights. And so I'm sitting there in class, and the screw falls down, and I got in trouble. I don't know how I got in trouble for this thing, but me and my friend Becky, we got in trouble. And he got so mad that he was like, go, get out of here, go to the office. And he had this whole big dramatic thing. I mean, I don't know. He didn't like me. He didn't like that I called his house and asked him if his refrigerator was running, and tell him it was Sears Roebuck and Company.
Oh my God. Okay.
I did allegedly. Mr. Weiland, I'm sorry. But he had this comb over, and the top of his hair would float up, and he would be standing there, and it would float up, and it would go and it was a big comb over thing. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But that one day, that screw fell or something fell. I don't know what it was. He blamed it on me, and he sent me to the principal's office. And that time, I didn't actually even do anything. I got mad because I got in-school suspension. And I was like, I'm not going to go to in-school to get suspended. What kind of bullshit is that? So I skipped my in-school suspension.
It's all fun and games till you make fun of the comb over of the 5th grade.
I didn't do it though. I didn't make fun of his hair in class. He was really weird. He used to rub his ass on the doorknob and shit. Sorry if any of you are related to the man or know him in any way. So
I believe it when you say that he rubbed his ass on the doorknob. I don't care what those other kids say.
I might have been a troublemaker. Just saying. All right. Oh man, that was a fun stream.
Yeah.
That was much fun. We had Hunter Carranza on with us, and we had Shadowbanned and the lovely Tina. Oh my gosh, she is so pretty. Pretty little gem with her purple hair. Oh my God, I just want to hug all of our family.
In a black gothic.
And Jack was so great.
And Jack. I love Jack.
Love the Jack.
I've actually seen Jack. I know he really does exist. He's not really just this AI voice thing. He really does exist. He's a real person. He's not shadow banned, doing amazing ventriloquist stuff.
He's not a marmot, although I think he might be related to them.
I don't know. Who knows?
He's also not a Pelosi.
He's not a Pelosi in any way.
He's
not. That's the best part about him.
Yeah, it is. It's one of the better parts. He doesn't condone, knuckle rubbing and burn pits. But thanks for watching, everybody. We love yous. And make sure you tune in on Tuesday when Lucky welcomes special guest Kit Cabello from the Hard Lens News Media.
We do have
thingy.
Kit coming on.
Yeah, he's coming on.
I want to show you guys something, though. I would love you guys to go check out. You are not required. There's no homework. But besides the clips that the ones that, oh my gosh, the documentaries that Elle gave us the links to, there's another one. Oh my gosh, Steve, will you please help me with the bird while I finish this? Will you help me with the bird, please?
We do it live.
Yeah, there's the link to the show.
We're gonna need some blow darts.
No, I don't. That's not what I want you to do. Stop. I don't want you to blow dart the bird. What is wrong with you?
Shout out to Electric Meat.
Why are we doing fucking shout outs?
Finest classic rock
There's no reason.
band in Indiana.
No reason for that. That. All right. I need to. There's another. Whoops. There's another link over here.
Oh, yeah.
That I put in. It's a really cool. I didn't finish it myself.
Beverly Jensen said Nancy's panty vibrator went off. And she loves birdies.
Okay.
All right then. I think that pretty
right.
much
This is
sums it up, no?
I'm trying to show something, Steve. Shut up. My God.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good night.
Yeah, Steve, you are done. Thank you. Yes, you're done. You're done.
I love you all.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Love you.
So this, Steve, that means stop. Okay. This is the documentary that I wanted to point you guys
Most
to.
apartments in Portland in general, most commercial properties, multifamily properties, the landscaping consists of the minimal, easy to maintain landscape.
Basically, it's usually just paved parking spaces.
Grass. It's basically, if it's not parking space, it's grass or there's a sprinkling of ornamental shrubs. You know, they don't produce any fruit or anything. So, I mean, it's a tragedy. It's a kind of a lost opportunity. If somebody changed that model, I mean, the place could become like this sort of one giant food forest. Hey, Stephen. Everybody knows everybody, and people eat together and party together.
Go ahead, you can say it.
Together. Hey, Neil.
Somebody call me.
Actually, where we meet each other more than anything else is gardening together.
Honestly, yeah, this squash is kind of, I think.
Looks like you have some sage
Some
there,
sage,
or
yep.
herbs.
I was just about to say, I always
Okay.
want to call it lavender for some reason, but it's
Oh,
sage.
yeah, right.
Then have in place a system that could step in. We have water and we have food, and you know, everyone says the minute the collapse happened. I mean, we've seen it with the pandemic. Like, what was the first thing to disappear off all the shelves? And people were afraid, and they were asking the farmers, "What do you think?" You know, they were looking for some sense of security that when the food distribution chains go down, that there will be local food. You know, so it was my first experience of what it's going to be like when systems start going down.
So this is our 1,500-gallon cistern. So typically a person needs a gallon a day during an emergency. So we have 1,500 gallons divided by 50 residents. We have 30 days worth of emergency water. This is the group garden greenhouse. Right now it's kind of the low part of the season, but you get a sense of how utilitarian this space is. I don't know if you've heard of the Cascadia subduction earthquake zone. We're in this zone where it's not a question of if, it's a question of when we're going to get a Richter 9 earthquake, which is like one of the most catastrophic in human history. I mean, they come every 300 years in the Pacific Northwest. Usually they're accompanied by tsunamis. We don't have to worry about that, but the ground is going to get shaken for probably upwards, a severe shaking for upwards of 5 minutes. That's going to break all kinds of grids. The power grid is likely to go down, the sewer grid almost undoubtedly, and it's probably going to be gone for months, if not years. It could take years to get the sewer system going again. This is our urination station. Despite the name, it's not just for urine. We actually have a regular lovable loo compost toilet inside. So that's why our total privacy, better than blinds, way more energy efficient. In a house, typically your energy loss is through the windows. So when it's super cold outside, the windows are really cold and it cools the air inside. And if it's hot outside, the windows are hot and it's the glass which is transmitting that temperature difference. So windows are comparatively very poorly insulated. These are like R1, whereas our thickened walls are like R45 or so. So you're getting 45 times as much heat loss through your windows. So by using a window quilt, this is like a regular quilt that you'd sleep with, it increases the insulative capacity probably by several fold. So as we discover these new technologies, the passive house technology and window quilts, we know what we need to use when we remodel new units. So all future units are probably going to have window quilts because it's a really underutilized technology, very, very simple. As we walk along here, you can see we have some fruit trees. This is a tea house that actually one of our residents built, and it's got kind of a little landscape there, including it's got rain chains in the corner to drop the water. But the main feature that you can see right here is the kitchen compost courtyard. So this is where we probably spend more time than just about any other activity. And you'll see the pile of buckets in the center. So that's kitchen compost that people have brought from their units. Here's the kitchen compost area. So the compost, it's showing 150 degrees. That's pasteurization temperature. It takes 1 minute to kill all pathogens in industrial processes, 159 degrees. So our compost bins routinely get up to that temperature. So when people bring the kitchen compost out, you empty it in here and then you cover it with wood chips again. We don't want to ever see rotting compost. And then that's chopped garden refuse. So we do lasagna composting. So we'll put a layer of this and then a layer of that over and over until it's all gone. And then we finally cap with the additive. This is the same material, comes right out of our wood chip depot down below. A layer of that goes on top. So the bins always look like they're filled with wood chips, really.
And I noticed there is no, let's say, people tend to complain about insects.
That's really rare. The big one, though, is rats. So once or twice a year, typically we'll see excavation on the top where a rat is excavating. And by the way, rats are actually good for compost because they excavate and aerate them, but we're prohibited from harboring rats. So we've tried to make as inhospitable a setup here as we possibly could. And the way that works is the tops of the bins are exposed to the sky, and rats don't like to be exposed to the sky. That's where predators come from. So we don't have a problem with harboring rats. Now, notice I'm going to step up into the bins, and I'm just going to pull a sign here. So we actually finished this at our last Saturday work party. So it says I'm full. This bin was filled August 1st, 2021. And it takes us about 7 months to go in a circle. So these 3 bins, or these 4 bins actually now are full. The next one, next Saturday, we're going to do this one, and this sign here indicates that. This is the way you aerate your compost. You excavate down like that, and then you pull up, and it homogenizes and aerates the compost, which is really important because compost is a respiration. It uses oxygen. People are required to give an hour per month to communal activities. By the way, we have about 55 residents George has been here 35 years, as he mentioned. Most have been here much less than that. We've been, Maitri and I, who started the project, we're going on 14 years now. If you've lived in an apartment, you're probably familiar with a situation where you may not know the person 2 doors down. Everybody knows everybody here. So that's the beauty of community. Hey.
So I brought this clip up because I thought it was so cool. This guy actually bought, they figured out how to buy an apartment building in the middle of Oregon. And they bought it and they turned it into this entire utopia. Like it is amazing.
It's like right in Portland, right? It's like right in the city.
Yeah, like in the very beginning. Here, I'll put it on. Like kind of.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
food forests idea, and making their own soil and composting everything and using the urine over and like, oh my God, this place is insane. And they have their own water source underneath, like an aquifer that they've tapped into that they replenish.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can.
If somebody
Amazing.
changed that model, I mean, the place could become like this sort of one giant food forest. Hey, Stephen. Everybody knows everybody, and people eat together and party together and garden together. Hey, Neil. They're actually where we meet each other.
This guy's like got the energy. Like we need our guy like him. Like,
Honestly, yeah, this squash is kind of, I think.
Looks like you have some sage there.
Sage, yeah, I was
Herbs,
just about to say, I
Yeah,
always
we
wanna
can
call it
all do
lavender
this.
for some reason,
Exactly.
but it's
who's filling that role? The orange shirted guy. Who is that?
I've been in Portland since the 1990s, and we've been on the sustainability trip, but it's all been sort of individual family, the household
you're
doing
typing
gardening
as
and
me.
composting and things
Oh
like
my
that.
God. Hi. But
Eventually, we wanted to develop a community. So this seemed like a great
all right, I'll
place
play a
to
few
try
more minutes
this
of
out.
this in the
It
beginning.
was a kind of a rundown apartment
So
building
cool.
back in 2007. Imagine 14 or 15 years ago, this was a giant parking lot, and there was just crew-cut grass on either side of that. So when we started, the grounds were totally bare. Okay, grass, we're talking grass, pavement, and a few ornamental shrubs that were pretty pathetic. No fruits or anything like that. So let's walk into the circular garden. But it had a big space for garden. So right here is the center. And what makes a circular garden so unique is that from this one point, you can irrigate a vast area very, very easily. This space is gardened by our group gardens program. We have about 20 families
That is
gardening
rad,
together
the
and
circular
growing things that
pattern.
you wouldn't normally grow in your own individual garden plot. For example, squashes. You can see a lot of space is taken up by squash, and you wouldn't have that space to do something like that in your own garden. Okay, we have carrots and peppers, sunflowers, chard, cabbage, cauliflower, and broccoli. You can kind of see the fruit trees here. Look at the fruit trees, they're just totally loaded. These are the ground falls that we picked up so far. And they may look a little dubious, but actually these are great for apple pies, applesauce. You can dry these too if you wanted to. So we get a huge bounty of fruits here.
And you planted all these?
We planted all these, yeah, right. When we started out, this was just grass here in the planting strips. And from here up to the building was a parking lot in the middle, and then grass and gravel on each side. There were a few ornamental shrubs right at the base of the building, but it was essentially just a big, open, kind of dead space. And you can see once you depave, we depaved the parking lot there, and now it's a fabulous garden, right?
So did you buy?
So we bought it, yeah. So we worked with a bank. You gotta convince a bank to put the money behind because it's a huge investment. This was $1.7 million.
Freaking beautiful.
This was considered a kind of a high risk investment, so they required a 30% down payment. Behind you, I wanted to point out that this is our intersection repair. So 2 years ago in August, we got together as a community, we closed the street at both ends, and then we painted this pollinator themed street painting. That's one of the fun community projects. Builds community. We learned a lot of our neighbors, we had a lot of our neighbors that we'd never met before. Really a great community building project. So we need a garden space because that's key to permaculture, is having some space where you can plant different things, trees and annual plants and things like that. So we decided to utilize one of the local organizations called DPAVE. DPAVE, their mission is to remove parking lots and turn those spaces into garden spaces. So we worked with them. We had probably 40 volunteers here one day, and we pried up all the asphalt and hauled it off. We filled up like 9 dumpsters full of asphalt. Then we discovered a gravel layer and actually a house foundation underneath. You never know what you're going to find when you depave some space, but undaunted, we continued on. We removed the house foundation, removed all the gravel, and started gardening. And this is 10 years later or so. The soil is very fertile. We probably created this much topsoil on top of the previously just bare areas. So I mentioned we depaved this space. One of the amazing things, this was parking lot right here. We discovered this old concrete pond that was hidden under the pavement and long forgotten. So when we discovered this, we decided we'd remodel it. And look at what we've got now, these gorgeous cattails out of a pond that was essentially hidden and buried under the pavement for probably 50 years, that we then unearthed and now returned back to pond. It's a beauty, it's a water feature, but it also provides a mud source for certain insects that use mud to create their homes, like mason bees and mud dauber wasps. Also swallows use mud to make their mud nests. So this is a perpetual source of mud that they can tap into. Now behind this is our well. So you'll see that little square structure with the living roof. We actually have a 100-foot well there that we've drilled, that we tap into the aquifer underneath, that we replenish with the rainfall. Rather than using cisterns to store rainwater, we use the earth as our cistern and then tap it with a well. It percolates into the ground, into this gigantic aquifer under the city of Portland, and then we tap into that. So we're replenishing the water that falls on the property here by keeping it in place. When we started this project, the driveway and the roof were sent into the sanitary sewer. So we were exporting rainwater to the City Bureau of Environmental Services, which then had to treat that when it's mixed with sewage. A big problem. We've avoided that problem, or remedied that problem, really by keeping the water on site, percolating it into the ground and replenishing the aquifer that we draw from. So the rain is drained to each side of the building. You'll see a pipe coming from that side. That channels all the rainwater from the north side of the building to that center, and then it comes across, and then it's conveyed through these rain chains to fall around us here. So the building is split down the center. It's a kind of a gable roof. And so we get about 150,000 gallons that land on the north side of the roof. There's another 150 from the south side. So the building itself probably contributes 300,000 gallons. This is the north side rainwater. And because it goes through small orifices in front to channel it to the rain chains and other places, it's important to keep sediment, leaves and things out. So what this does is it catches these leaves. Look, how did the peanut get up on the roof? But so several times a year, we'll go through and clean the filters out. And basically, you just tap them like that. And that way it keeps that material out of the rainwater chains, which would clog them. And you can put it back again. So whenever it rains, there are 3 waterfalls on this side of the building.
What are you doing? I'm restoring the rainwater creek, we call it. You see, the stone passage goes all the way to the big swale. And it starts up here When it rains, you see the downspout. So the water goes down and comes out here in that stump, and then it starts to run all the way down there. So it's fun to come out here when there's a downpour.
When we started, we had contemplating going into a co-housing, which is a condominium model. You co-own the place with a bunch of other people. The problem with that is we kind of do things a little bit radical, like human manure composting our pee and poop. This is the basis for our fertility. And we figured your typical co-housing community would not necessarily go for that. This is what we call the additive for our compost toilets. So we're importing carbon from the city, which normally would go in the landfill. Believe it or not, some people put this in the landfill. And yet this is exactly what you need to balance the high nitrogen inputs from urine and kitchen compost and excrete or poop. Excrement, toilet paper, and additive are what we compost to create fertility and till. So let me.
And everybody has a compost toilet.
No. So there's probably about a dozen of us who use the ecological sanitation project. Every unit, generally speaking, has a toilet in it. And some people will supplement with a bucket of wood chips and then a lovable loo next to it. And this is a typical one-bedroom unit right here. So it's about 565 square feet, consists of this living area and a kitchen. And there's our bedroom. And then we also have the bathroom in here. And what's unique about our bathroom is we have a compost toilet in it. This is normally where the toilet goes right here, this hole that's covered in the floor. We've removed that because we have our own compost toilet here. And this is what a compost toilet looks like. This is called the lovable loo. It's a 5-gallon bucket that you pee and poop into. If you're willing to save your urine separately, that's even better, and that's what I do. So I have my own pee bottle here. I just pee into my bottle. And my wife pees into her bottle using this contraption. So you see there's a little bottle there and a funnel. So very easy actually to collect your pee separately from your poop, okay?
And it doesn't smell at all.
There's no odors here, okay? So what's amazing in between use is the wood chips that we use for covering. These are the wood chips. So after you pee or poop in here, then you cover with this, and wood chips are well known as an odor absorber and barrier. That leaves the interesting question about what happens when you're pooping, okay? There's odor that's coming into the room. So that's what this is right here. So when we come in here to poop, we turn on this fan. So now we actually have a fan that's inside here, sucking air into the lovable loo and then venting it into the attic space above. So when we're pooping, unlike toilets in any place in the world that I've ever seen, we have no odor. The state-of-the-art American toilets, the state-of-the-art even Japanese toilets that can run several $100s do not have this feature, and I'm not sure why.
It smells like the forest.
That's what you get with wood chips here. So these have a kind of an earthy smell. Very, very nice. So that's how our bathroom looks. And otherwise, we have a regular sink here and a regular shower. So we recycle pee in bottles. So I'm going to show you how we do it. So these are our urine tanks. And this is 1,000 liters or 1 cubic meter of urine right here. So you can see it's about to right there. We fill them up to 90% and then we move to the next tank. So I'm just going to uncap this. And you can see here, we have a funnel and then a little tap with a rock on it to hold it. And I'm just going to dump this in very simply. Add my pee to the communal pee. And then after 6 months, then here's
I think
where
that they've
you
actually
drain the
been
urine
there
out.
for like 30
And
years
typically
now.
what we do,
Like,
is
this isn't a
we
new
attach a pipe
system.
here, and you can, if you look over here, you can see that barrel down there, okay, with the hose coming out. So come on down here and I'll show you. This is what we do is we typically will attach a tank In this case, that's attached to the urinal tank inside our urination station. So we drain that tank whenever it gets full into the barrel. And then inside the barrel, you can look over there, and we have a sump pump that's connected to the hose. And that hose goes up to our compost area. So we drain that tank into there, turn on the pump, and all the hose is pumped up to our kitchen compost area, and we distribute it into the bins there.
So you have enough space for all the pee.
Exactly, yeah,
You've
right.
calculated.
It takes us about 3 months to fill a tank. So after the tank is filled, then you mark that it's finished, and then you have 6 months from that point.
So after 6 months, the urine.
So this is unaged urine. That's why you can compost that. It's not a problem, but you wouldn't normally use that directly on plants, and this is just to follow the technical rules. Unlike your own personal pee, that's a little bit different because it's your own organisms inside you. So this is my personal plot, and normally pee goes into the public urine depot, and then it's sanitized by the high pH. But if you use your pee on your own plot, you don't have to do that. So this is my personal pee, and I'm going to show you what I do. I just dump it here. Very, very simple. And now pee can develop an odor. When it's fresh, it doesn't have an odor. So you want to wash the leaves. This is just well water. And then I go through and wash the foliage. That dilutes the pee as well as washes any urine off. And that way we don't have any odor ever.
What's the property of pee what are you getting from it?
Okay, so
yes.
It's how we excrete most of the nutrients in our body that plants like. And the carbon obviously comes out in our feces, right? The pee, everything that's liquefied is in pee. And so it's minerals, potassium, phosphorus, magnesium, calcium, as well as nitrogen. So nitrogen comes out in the form of urea, and when it's broken down, the urea breaks into ammonia. The plants love the nitrogen. It's primarily a nitrogen source for gardeners.
So otherwise you'd be buying inputs.
Exactly, yeah. So if you garden, nitrogen can be a challenge because all plants need nitrogen. It's like the fundamental nutrient that all plants need, besides oxygen and carbon dioxide.
Only my tree, manage and own this place. And at first, I was a little frightened of them. I didn't know what they were about. I wasn't sure if I was going to go along with it. But then as they talked more and we related to one another, I said, I think I could go along with this, and I cared about the environment, and they cared about it a lot more. I've been here 35 years. I watched it change from dilapidation to a grand forest. Yeah, I wouldn't live here if it was otherwise. It was just a simple complex. I wouldn't be here.
Here is our solar shower. This morning, I actually tested it out with the smoke. We're not getting a lot of heat, but let me turn on the faucet here. And so it's on pure hot water, and I'm going to see if we get any. Yeah, we're actually getting a little bit. It's not really hot. So how it works is there's a solar collector on the roof there. That series of pipes absorb the heat. That contains about 8 gallons of water that's heated up. The cold water comes in one side and it comes out hot at the other end. And then it's conveyed to the shower here. And we actually have a thermometer here that tells you what the temperature is of the incoming hot water. It's about 80 degrees right now. So it'll probably go up maybe close to 100. Now, one thing to note is you have to use biologically safe, low sodium soaps. Otherwise, it's going to contaminate. This is a permitted gray water disposal system that we have here. So here's the conveyance pipe, actually. So we have 2 zones of gray water. This right here is the switch to go from one to the other. Move it from one side to the other. So now the water's going that way, or you can make it go that way. And then that's just the tightening. So this zone right here is this artichoke patch. So the water comes down here, goes across. This is the splitter. So half the flow goes that way and half the flow goes that way. And this is another splitter. So when the water comes here, it splits it between these two sites. And this is where the water actually percolates into the ground. And the same, the water that's split there comes down and is split again here and goes to those two spots. So it moistens in 4 different spots. And there's a similar moistening down in this other plot. If we turn it this way, then this pipe goes down underground to here. The water is split and it goes to 2 spots there and 2 spots there. This is a kale patch here. So that's how the gray water works. Hey, Neil, would you like to meet Kirsten? And
Hi, you're working hard.
so Neil is our farmer.
Wannabe farmer.
Yeah, I jumped around a little
he
bit,
sells
but
all our
here's
store
Pete.
produce. We do thousands of dollars of sale at your farmer's market, right?
Yeah.
We have a lot of surplus here, so he sells all kinds of stuff. What do you sell?
This week, figs, cleared out the figs, greens, kale, collards, chard, some cucumbers, Ollie's kale. This is Ollie's patch of kale. We grow for ourselves, and then we realized we were growing more than we can eat, so we decided to start selling the excess.
And you live here as well.
Yeah.
How long have you lived here, Neil?
It's probably 10 years. I took 2 years trying to live in rural area. The reason I got into food growing was because I recognized what was coming down the pipeline.
What do you mean by that?
As far as collapse, systemic collapse, you know, our financial collapse. So I wanted to learn to grow food and then have in place a system that could step in. We have water and we have food, and you know, everyone says the minute the collapse happened. I mean, we've seen it with the pandemic. Like, what was the first thing to disappear off all the shelves? And people were afraid. And they were asking the farmers, what do you think? You know, they were looking for some sense of security that when the food distribution chains go down, that there will be local food. You know, so it was my first experience of what it's going to be like when systems start going down.
So this is our 1,500-gallon cistern. So typically a person needs a gallon a day during an emergency. So we have 1,500 gallons divided by 50 residents. We have 30 days worth of emergency water. This is the group garden greenhouse. Right now it's kind of the low part of the season, but you get a sense of how utilitarian this space is. I don't know if you've heard of the Cascadia subduction earthquake zone. We're in this zone where it's not a question of if, it's a question of when we're going to get a.
So I put the link in there before for everybody to check this out. I know I kind of skipped around a little bit. I wanted to show you guys more once I had, I had started it and moved around on it a little bit. But I feel like this is completely like, we can do this. We can have something like this. We can decide that we're not going to live within their system. Like, we can have our own parallel system. We can figure this out. We have some of the most amazing, intelligent people in our community, in our chat community, in our larger community. We just have to decide where to do it. I mean, we can have this. Like there's no reason why we can't. What do you think, Elle? Don't you think we need to have a beautiful place like this?
It would be very nice. I think it would be difficult for a lot of people to adjust to it, but after the adjustment period, I mean, everything eventually goes back to basics. Like I've said, like throughout history, everything that's happening now has happened before multiple times throughout history again. So like even our brand is crisis. Like they take over other nations and do the thing over here in the 90s. They do it again a few years later, do it again a few years later. Like it's constantly happening. And then they fuck over candidates like in spin all the time, but people forget, and then they keep going and doing the same thing. So it's getting out of the habit of doing the same thing that isn't producing the results that we need in society. that's something that needs to happen first before anything is possible in the doing of it. We have to change the minds of the people to think outside the box, which is basically just thinking the way that they thought back in the day that we don't think, but we have as humans in the past.
Yeah. I mean, like and some people are like Peace Stuff was saying, you know, Peace Stuff grew up on a farm, and, you know, like, I'm too old to do that. Yeah, you don't have to do that, though. That's the thing. It's not that the way that a community works like this, and that, you know what I mean? Like, you do what you can. You know what I mean? And you have information on how to do it. You're part of it's not like, you know, you think about the intentional part of it, the intentional community. It means that, like, you, like, this is your family. Like, this is, you know what I mean? We help each other. You know, and it's not just like, you know, each of them for themselves. It's, you know, we do better, I do better. That means, like, if I'm doing better, it means that my community is doing better. And that's why I'm doing better, because my community is doing better. You know, like, we support each other as a whole in every way that we can. And I think it's possible. I really think it is. And Beverly was saying, or Beverly, that the church has a community garden. Why don't we have gardens everywhere?
Yeah.
Like, why aren't there just gardens everywhere?
Maybe more high rises.
Not thinking. All right. Well, I want to take this chance to say thank you, everybody, for listening, and
We're wrapping up here in a second, Steve.
and everybody have an awesome night, and I will catch you on the flip flop.
Love you guys. Thanks
Yes.
for hanging out with us, everybody.
Yeah.
And
So,
listen to my
check it-
show.
Yes. Put your do you have a link in there? Do you have a link for
I
your-
did. I put it in there before.
Did you do another one today?
No, goodness, I don't do them that often. I just do them every month, but it's basically what went on during the month of whatever month it is. And then I wrap it all up at the end. That's how it is now.
Okay. I was like, oh no, did I miss a podcast?
I used to do it only like one time. I did it like once a year at one point. I did it like one, and then I did like another one, and then I did like every 6 months. So it became a monthly thing because I decided to do that and thought I had to keep up with the news cycle and everything. So it's important that I continue it. Also, I was paying for it per year, and I'm not going to pay for something I'm not using at least once a month to get the most out of it.
Right.
You're like, at least once a month I gotta use it.
Hell yeah. I feel that. That's just logical.
And so we'll be talking more about this, because I know that we have some really smart people that know things about, you know, like grants and how to get this, you know what I mean? I feel like we can do this. I feel like there is, I mean, how many ghost town communities are there? How many, you know, like, there's empty buildings everywhere. Like, imagine like the community of all the houseless people, like the people that you helped give water to and everything today. Like, imagine if they were given the opportunity to grow food and have that kind of community living. Like, imagine the standards that people would have, you know, like when you could trust your neighbor, when you could say, okay, like, you know, I'm going to go outside and this is our harvest for, you know what I mean? This is what we harvest today. And to be able to help each other, like this whole me thing is just, it's not working. We need to change it. And I mean, even in I was seeing that places, even like in like deserts and stuff, we have so much technology. It's amazing. They have these fog curtains basically what they call them. Have you heard of these? They're like
No.
a big. It looks like a big mesh thing. Like you could put them up on the poles like when there's fog, and yeah, well, not really a sail, but it's a certain meshy material. It collects the moisture, and you actually get like they're doing amazing things. Like in places like Afghanistan, they're doing it. They we are just not doing it in a smart way. We're doing it in the capitalism way. We're not doing it in the smart way. We're not doing it in the eco-friendly earth, you know what I mean? Sustainable way. Like we have the technology to do all of this. We could drastically have a completely different world in a very short period of time. But we have to decide to do it.
Well, I really had fun on the stream and being with my friends and hanging out and talking about all the great things that we talked about and learning so much about astrology and stuff. And it was really good. And I guess I'll see you on the next one, everybody.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, thank you everybody for joining us. This was fun. Check out the links that we put in the comments and stuff, and I'll see if I can get Steve to gather them for us and put them in the thing. All right.
Thanks.
Bye,
guys.
y'all. We love you.
Love and hugs.
Hydrofield cuts through my neighborhood. Somehow that always just made me feel good. And I can put a spare bulb in my hand, light up my yard. Late at night when the wires in the walls sing in tune with the din of the falls. I'm conducting it all while I sleep to light this whole town.